Greetings.
Howdy, howdy.
What's
Ooh,
up?
it's your boy Ryan.
It's your boy Easy. We're back.
And you're listening to Turtle Soup, the internet, nay, the world's only listener-supported podcast dedicated to the ongoing journey of the TMNT all the way from the very beginning until, I might need your help with this.
Oh, okay.
I find myself a way to get to heaven
Okay.
so I can ask Toby Keith if, looking back,
Right.
he should have just been a cowboy.
Oh, dang. That's true. R.I.P. Toby Keith.
Because I want to have a chance to ask him. And honestly,
Yeah, that's true.
I think it's one of those things you can only say, like, after it's all over.
Yeah, no.
You could speculate. Yeah, I should have been a cowboy. I should have been a cowboy. But you don't really know until the last day. You know what I mean? Until you've seen the whole thing go by.
I saw an article from MIT, and they said that they did a study, and they said that there's no way that you could determine, like, basically echoing what you just said, that you have to wait until the end of your life to accurately know if you're going to be, if you should have been a cowboy.
Well, I mean, that's why I don't support giving tins on, especially when people rate people's attractiveness.
Ooh,
I don't believe in tins.
Right.
I believe, and I think I've talked about this on the show before, there should only be one 10 in your whole life.
Interesting.
And you got to see it through.
Mm-hmm.
So on your deathbed, you could drop a 10 on like Tia Carrera, whoever you want to. But that's it. Like you got to see it to the very end. You know what I mean? Because you never know.
You never know.
You could be 75 years old, all of a sudden you're walking around on a cruise ship somewhere and you see a 10.
Right.
And you're like, looking back, that was a 10.
That was a 10.
You know what I mean?
I do.
That's why
I absolutely do.
You know what I mean? That's kind of where I'm at.
I feel
you know, I only Sith deals in absolutes, but you know,
it's true.
I'm just dealing in absolutes over here. So I mean, what does that say?
What does that say?
But you are absolutely not on the Jedi Council. It's like, or you're absolutely not a Jedi Master.
No,
you know,
you
that's
not.
an absolute. But another thing that is absolutely true is that we are live on YouTube. We're out here.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? If you're an audio listener, come check us out. Hit that sub, get that bells, get the bell notifications. You know what I'm saying? Get it going. You get episodes like this super queasy episode live, and in queasy color. You know what I'm saying? And if you are watching on YouTube, thank you. And we're live every Thursday night, and share the podcast so that people know we're live and stuff. And another thing that's really important, besides all the questions I have for Toby Keith, and that's why I might need your help, because like right now I don't feel like I'm
right.
I feel like I've done good enough to go to heaven, but I'm not like
I
just don't think I'm fully there. It's up in the air.
Yeah.
But I'd say to some people that if I was at the gates, I would bring to heaven. Just with no question.
Like a plus 2. Like you get plus 2.
It's a plus 2. Like when you pop up, you know you're going to heaven. You good boy, you. Sure. You're gonna pop up there, and if I was running the gates, I'd be like, I got 2 people you got to bring along with you, and you'd be like, what? And I'd be like, Jeff Peters and David Wagner is what I'd say.
Oh, dang.
Because, and I'd write it down in my big ass book that was up there. I'd be like, I'm gonna just go ahead and pencil this in. That they were parts of Patron Ranger, and they brought they helped bring you this 316th episode of Turtle Soup.
It's true.
I'd write that down in the book, and at the end of my shift, you know, God might, you know, have some questions about that, but then I mean, He knows everything, so
at the end of my shift,
it's all good. And then I mean, it just makes you wonder, like, do you get like a review? Do you get reviewed?
I hope
if
so.
You work at the pearly gates.
I hope so.
But why would you need a job review
if you're already there?
If God already knows, like, He's good.
It's more. I would like to think that it's more so for you, I guess. Okay. I don't know.
Oh, fair.
All I know is that I always would hope that once we get there, that even before it's decided whether or not you are ascending or descending, that there's a screen and everyone's looking at their stats, and it's like the pause screen on GTA that shows you like how many miles you walked, how many breaths you took.
Oh my God, I want that so bad.
How many breaths of other people did you take? Like did you leave some people breathless? How many times did you get on the chuckle bus? You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. Like those are the stats that I need that I can go into eternity with, and that would just make me, you know, feel amazing. And just know
that'd be great.
So yeah,
just knowing it. But yeah, Jeff Peters and Dave Wagner are definitely going to heaven. They are parts of Patron Ranger. They support us on Patreon. You can do the same. And for as little as $1 a month, help support the show. Help us not say clang.
Right.
This is the second episode of Eric's velvety voice, brought to you by a new interface that our patrons helped us get. And so, yeah, if you're not a patron, check it out. And if you are, your family, you know what I'm saying? We call you family. Like, when Elias Codius rolls up, I said it the right way.
Yeah,
when he rolls up and he's like, "You called this family?" We're like, "Yeah." And we just stare each other 100%. Down for a really long time. And eventually, Elias is like, "You said Elias, right?" And I'm like, "Yep." And he's like, he goes, "You get to go to heaven." And I'm like,
"Yeah." All of a sudden, you realize
you're the one at the pearly gates, and it's like, yeah, he was working right behind me, but I only saw one set of footprints.
Right, because he's a hockey he's a hockey.
He's a
goalkeeper. Exactly.
Yeah. He's a goalkeeper.
It all works out.
So I mean, you if you don't belong when Elias is working, you're gonna get just slap shotted out of there.
Exactly. I mean, you got to know what crumpet is to understand cricket. So
yeah. Exactly. Speaking of understanding cricket, we try to understand a lot of things on this show. I think we do a halfway decent good job of trying to do it.
We're all right.
So if we're trying to understand crumpets and cricket and everything else, what are we trying to understand this episode, Eric? What's the step?
Tonight, everyone, we are trying to wrap our head, our hands, our hope, everything around some very special episodes, both featuring one of our favorite reoccurring cast members. Is it reoccurring or recurring? Recurring. Okay. Cast members of the show of the Next Mutation. That is Dr. Queeze. We have from May 4th, 1998, The Guest, and then May 11th, 1998, Trusting Dr. Queeze. And so get ready for a
both
heaping
episodes feature your boys.
Full.
Yes, they are. It's gonna get ultra queasy in here.
Oh, very queasy,
real fast. But that's what we've signed up for, and it's our duty, and that's what we're gonna do.
That's true.
I want to take a real quick second and say that Toby Keith dying sucks. I don't want people to think because there's been a lot of humor made about him and stuff. And I think he's the kind of guy that would have appreciated humor about his death.
Oh, absolutely.
But I am a Toby Keith fan. I know that after 9/11, Toby Keith became pretty divisive.
Yeah.
And he kind of signed on to be that guy. And he, it's him and the Department of Homeland Security seem like they're the two biggest changes after 9/11.
Oh, yeah.
Besides the fact that we went off the DEFCON system, which makes me upset.
It does.
But besides that, Toby Keith, if you were a 90s country kid, Toby Keith recorded so many bangers.
More than you know.
It doesn't stop. Like, I have a country bangers playlist.
Ooh.
That's like 8 hours long.
It sounds really bad when you say it that way.
It is all country bangers all day. It is just every badass song I know every word to.
Yeah.
It's 8, like I said, I think it's 8+ hours long at this point.
That's legit.
And Toby Keith,
that's a full day.
Every single he released, between 1989 and 2001 are in it. He was unstoppable.
I know.
And
I know Red Solo Cup, and I should have been a cowboy. I know that one, and I think that's
you don't know that. I wish I didn't know now what I didn't know then.
No,
I wish I
still
didn't
don't know that.
Now. Oh, that song is so good.
Yeah.
Or how about that? I want to talk about me song. That one.
Oh, that sounds vaguely familiar. I guess my problem is I probably know a lot of these songs. It's just I didn't realize it was Toby Keith, because a lot of them kind of get homogenized in that genre, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And
there's who's that man? You ever heard that song?
Oh, I don't know. I might
man?
I might need to get up on that bangers, the country bangers list.
Toby Keith doesn't stop, and I guarantee you there's gonna be some tracks you're like, oh damn, I remember that song from back in the day.
Yeah.
No, his singles back then were great. But anyway, so that was unfortunate, but just wanted to shine him up a little bit. I know that he, like I said, I know he's somewhat divisive. I didn't want to agree with him later, but he was a big part of me and my brother's childhood. Listening to Toby Keith. So
of course.
Just want to give him a shout out.
There you go. Shout out Toby Keith.
TK. How you been, dude?
I'm great. I feel a little weird tonight for some reason, but like I said before the game, seeing you brings out, it just bubbles up in me, and it just gets me all the good feelings inside. And, I don't need a tiny spoon for all that. I don't need I don't need a snow covered my reflection in the snow covered hills. I don't need any of that. I just need seeing my boy Ryan and my boys in the my fellows, my people in the live stream chat.
And Wilson's here, and I'm very glad he is, because he's missed
absolutely.
like every episode.
Jeff's kiss.
And if he has Jeff's kiss, and if he has time, we don't record. We don't go live. If he has no lodge, we don't go live.
Right.
But it's all come together now. No from the top this time.
Yeah. He's here.
So Alicia and Aaron, her friend, went to Union Hall after we saw your band.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
To see that tribute show. That it was Alanis Morissette, the Cranberries, and Fleetwood Mac.
Oh my goodness.
Tribute show, and they went to it like that next weekend.
Oh, I didn't even
so
realize
they're
that was
over
going on.
in your neck of the woods. Oh yeah, no, they did it, and apparently it was really good. It was really good. She had a great time.
Yeah. Apparently, I think that's going to be a thing with us as we get older, and I guess that's what happened to people like our parents' age and stuff. That they had the tribute bands and all this stuff like that, and that they would go see them, and it's a whole thing. But Shannon remembers our buddy Craig on Middle School Gravy on Facebook. He put together. He used to be a show promoter, and he would put together a under the covers kind of thing where he would have a band pretend to be like just one band. Like so, this band, I want to say it was Abortion Twins, that's around here that we played with last weekend, which is one of the best names.
No, it is.
They and they were fantastic, but they did a whole Weezer cover set. And that's pretty neat. So I'm hoping to see more of that, and it's kind of interesting. But I wanted to tell you though, real quick, Shannon, my wife, and I, we finished watching Battlestar Galactica.
Again. You guys finished it up. We
did, and let me tell you, for a show that so I'm gonna back it up a little bit. So
back it up.
Once I finally watched it years ago, a long time Turtletarians will remember, because it happened on the show. It was impactful to me, and I loved the show, and it was fantastic, and it was one of those things that I said, you know what, whenever I finally settle down and stop, sowing my wild oats, as they say, I find me someone that can put up with me for longer than 3 months. I'm gonna want to experience this show with them, and finally it just happened, and we watched it, and that last episode, dude, I'm like, with bated breath, I'm like, is she going to like it? Because it's in our friends group,
a controversial ending.
Yeah, it's not as divisive as I thought. Once we start once she's like, so tell me who doesn't like it, and I'm like, all right, Farmer Greg, Adam, they didn't care for it.
Sure.
Father Preston loved it. Or at least he liked it. He thought it was okay. I can't remember where he stood. You and me loved it. Dad loved it.
Yeah.
So
Lex took a little time.
Right.
Like Lex at first was like, "What the hell?" And then we talked about it more, and she was like, "Oh, okay." And then my big thing, which I always say about the end of shows, is like, people, you have to understand in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you can't like a finale, and this is kind of what this starts to sound like. Sound like, if you don't like the finale, you're an asshole. And that's not true. But you have to understand that inside you're fighting a very human response and a human fear called loss aversion. It's a technique.
Yeah.
When you've been following a show and you're very invested in it, when it ends, there is a one of the wolves inside you is going to start shouting about how that's bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like just off the bat. Like there's it could be anything. And you're not going to like it because you can't imagine how it would end. And sadly, those writers have to make it end.
Yeah.
It's not a very enviable task.
No.
So often I ask people to step back after a show's over if they feel a little weird and sort through the natural, like make sure you're not just tacking on other stuff that you're kind of mourning the end of a show onto it.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. And thankfully, that's what I'm glad you mentioned that about Lex, because that's kind of what Shannon went through too. Because I experienced it as a solo venture. So also that probably plays a factor in it too. Having someone be in there immediately be like, so what'd you think? And I just look like a creep, just being like, tell me you loved it. But she liked it. She said she definitely loved the journey, and that she liked the ending. And I think it's, like you said, it's growing on her. And I think it kind of like, overall, I think it was positive, which is the best I could hope for. And but watching it, and you've watched it multiple times. This is my second time through, because I tried to do it a little too soon after the first time, and it was too much.
I've been holding off on a good rewatch myself, because I watched it a lot, but I watched it like by myself. Then like give it 6 months. I watched it with Alicia.
Yeah.
And then give it another little bit, and I watched it with you. So I kind of blasted it.
Yeah.
But it's been so long now that I feel like I'm close to a rewatch, that where I might get more revelations like you're talking about too.
It was wild. The stuff I was like, oh, how did I not remember this? Like, how did I not know this is fundamental to the entire story? How did I have zero recollection?
A lot of Battlestar.
Yeah, it was
a lot of it. And
insane.
It's deep. It gets deep like a diver, dude.
It does. And but it was a lot of fun, and just I recommend that. I'll talk to you about it after the show, because this gets in the weeds. But I need to ask you if you watched this extra thing about it. But
okay.
But yeah, definitely recommend watching just somebody tell you like what the order to watch it in, because not always the Blu-rays are not always like in order, and sometimes you'll watch an episode if y'all are going to watch it, and they'll have like the episode, and then the next actual available episode is the same episode, but it's the extended version. And if you
they did extended cuts for some of them.
Yeah, if you didn't know about it, you've already watched the other one. You're like, oh shit. Well, like I don't want to.
Yeah, no, that's a thing. I don't know. I think a lot of people will probably want to watch it on streaming. I don't know.
It's not
what
streaming
they do
anywhere though right now. So yeah, but I don't know.
BSG's not streaming anywhere.
Not that I could find. Definitely.
I know I bought the first couple seasons on Amazon.
It used to be on Netflix. It definitely used to be on Netflix. But
I know it used to be on Netflix. I think I bought seasons on Amazon. I think that's probably the closest way you can get to watch it right now.
Yeah.
Battlestar is so good.
It is.
God.
I mean, it's right up.
I'm glad that Shannon liked the end of it. I am too. I mean, but she was a big Lost fan, and how she felt with the ending. Was she into the end of Lost?
I think she was on board with it enough. I think she liked the ambiguity of a lot of it. Like, it's one of those things where like I wish I had answers, but I also like that there's like still like questions. Like there's still ambiguity. Like I said,
that last scene with Gaius and Caprica 6.
Yeah,
like on that planet.
Oh yeah,
that shit makes me cry. Like I know it's a good show.
Right.
If like there are parts like the season finale of Lost, like the last like 3 episodes, I just have to full on warn people. Like I'm gonna cry at like this point of this episode.
Right.
Like it just gets like too much. I have a couple suggestions. For potentially your next show.
Okay. Yeah. Lay it on me.
And okay. So, number 1, continuing with the Ronald D. Moore situation, you could watch For All Mankind, which is a Ronald D. Moore show, and it feels like one.
Is it new?
It's new, and it's on. Well, I mean, relatively new.
Relatively,
it's got like 4 seasons.
I've heard about it recently for some reason.
Yeah. It's on Apple Plus. Dude, For All Mankind is amazing. The whole premise is, what if the Russians beat us to the moon in 1969?
Yes, I did hear about this. Yeah.
And it just goes from there, and it is great. But it's got that Ronald D. Moore like storytelling.
Okay.
Which I think you guys would be like a big fan of,
especially coming off Battlestar. Yeah.
Coming off Battlestar. Now, if you're into a little something different, I just finished this show, and it's a Damon Lindelof joint. This is the guy that made Lost.
Oh,
right. The head writer for Lost made a show called The Leftovers. Have you ever heard about that or seen that?
No, but I'm a big fan of Leftovers.
So I'm not really, but I love the show. So The Leftovers is on HBO Max, or Max as it's called now.
Sure.
And it is 28 episodes, 3 seasons, snappy, planned ending. Hard planned ending. It's not like it doesn't leave you hanging off.
Nice.
It effectively is about one day, a small portion of the world's population disappears, like instantly vanishes.
Okay.
And it is all about the grief and what happens to society and people after that happens.
Ooh, that sounds amazing. That sounds like post-rapture kind of stuff.
It kind of is, right? Except it's a very small amount of people. Like,
okay.
Let me explain. I think it's like 2% of the world's population or 3% or something like that. So it's just enough that like everyone's kind of been affected by it.
Okay.
Like you may have had like your aunt disappear. Or for some people, right, it's closer, like your husband disappears or one of your children disappears.
Right.
You know, it's just enough, right? It's not enough to disrupt like the world. So it's not post-apocalyptic. Like in like power plants running and planes flying. It's not nothing like that. But it's the effect of like people. Of like we can't explain what happened. Yeah. And it gets wild in a very lost way. It gets insane. Awesome.
Yeah.
And I just finished it and it's a tearjerker. It'll get you. It is a damn good show. The Leftovers. It is gross. Lex recommended it.
Yeah.
I always kind of heard about it, but watching it, it is just it's absolutely great.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so The Leftovers, if you're feeling like a Lost vibe, and For All Mankind, if you still want to go to space and be in that Ronald D. Moore life, but a little bit more realistic, because the show. So For All Mankind jumps a decade between seasons.
Oh, that's fascinating.
So it goes from like the late 60s, and very quickly history's getting rewritten.
That's amazing.
So one suggestion I have is in between seasons, you'll see on the menu, they have like little news clips you can watch before the next season that like bridges that season and the next season and like what's happened politically. Because obviously like yeah, but like what's cool is because the USSR doesn't fall.
Yeah.
That's really important. Like later on, like because they're on the moon. Like they don't fall. So like the Cold War and the space race just keeps going. So everything is different because of it. And it's damn good. Yeah, it's really good.
In the chat, Drew chimed in with ladies love Outlander, and that's also a Ronald D. Moore joint apparently, which I'd heard of Outlander. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I've heard of it too. I haven't seen it.
Ooh. John Clemens echoes that For All Mankind is solid first half of the season. Season 1 is slow, but then it ramps up. And
you gotta get with it.
Yeah. So and I think that's about it. But yeah. So well, that's cool. Anything else going on with you?
Oh man, not a lot. I'm kind of in a TV renaissance. We're watching The Expanse with the family.
Oh, okay, nice.
Which has been really cool.
Yeah,
and it's heating up. And then just got done watching The Leftovers, and that's kind of been it. Yeah, I just been kind of chilling. I was sick last week, so I've been trying to kind of recoup. But that's kind of been what's going on with me.
Well, that's cool. Well,
kind of relaxing.
Well, thank you again for coming and seeing us play. That was awesome. It was nice seeing you. In person
it was great. Once. Like I said, I was trying to get to the show the week before, but I couldn't. But you guys were great. You guys were great live. It's always fun being around the band.
Yeah, it was neat. We this was the first time we were trying out our in-ear monitors. Second time, but like first time at a venue that we play at regularly. And, yeah. It was very weird and interesting, but seeing our bass player Mike sing with the Abortion Twins the Four Non Blondes song "What's Up," it was amazing. So
that's pretty great.
That was a really good time. And so all right, well I think we can jump right in.
You ready to get into it?
Yeah, let's do this.
Oh man you can warm up. You can bring in the AV cart.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. That's what it is.
We had to go to a thing for August at his middle school. Like it was some kind of like Avid like program thing where like they had to put on a presentation at night and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And so we went there and they got food and everything. And right next to the like little food thing they had one of those AV carts. They put drinks all over it. I was telling Kara, I was like, do you know how bad I want one of those?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Alicia's like, what would you even use that for? I'm like, I'd find a way to use that.
Oh, absolutely.
I want the AV cart.
Yeah. Now, do you want the are you going to get the one with the I guess they all had the power strips on them, right?
Oh yeah. That's the coolest thing about AV cart.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's got wheels and power. I mean, come on. Like,
And bonus if it has that black ribbed grippy stuff.
Absolutely.
On each of the 2 shelves. That needs to happen.
Nothing. You're not going anywhere if you're on that. Like,
I would hunt down. I'd hunt down like a CRT like TV and like put it on there.
Yeah,
like that'd be great.
I saw one on the side of the road like Monday, and I was like, "What happened? Like for it to be this long that you're like, now's the time." Like, now,
bro, I know, right? I was talking to some guys at this local game shop. Like retro video game store. And because August has been getting into all the old systems and stuff. And
yeah.
They had like a big ass, probably like a 50-inch CRT just in the corner.
That's wild.
I rolled up on him and this guy, and it was so funny how it worked out. I was like, you wouldn't have him be selling that CRT, would you? And he's like, and this guy's like, all of a sudden it becomes very like illicit. He's like,
what?
There's just all of a sudden his whole demeanor. He's like, I could ask the owner about that.
Yeah,
we'll see. I'm sure it still works. I'm like, yeah, or whatever you guys have access to. I didn't know if you guys have all these retro game consoles. I see you have little CRTs around that you can demo games on. I was like, I don't know if you have any access to bigger CRTs. You guys have just grabbed because I'm willing to pay for some. He's like, slips of paper, like just a Post-it note, like toward me. He goes,
what?
Go ahead and write your name and phone number down there for me, boss. And I'm like, all right. So I write it down. He's like,
yeah,
I'll go to the storage unit a little later. I'll text you. You're sure I got something. What you looking for? I was like, probably something in the 32-inch range, something like that. He's like, all right, it's medium size. He's like, yeah, let me go to the storage container and see what's going on.
Medium
I
size.
might have something for you. I'll give you a text. And I'm like going, this became very illicit very quickly. This sounds very illicit. I'm like,
it does.
I kind of threw the same thing at him where like where I was kind of like, hey, I'd rather give my money to you than anybody else kind of thing. And he's like, fair. All right. Yeah, no. But it was so funny because his attitude before that, like we were talking about game consoles, and I've got a PS5 controller with some pretty bad stick drift.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, oh, we can replace those sticks. We could do that for $30 or whatever. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, both sticks, $30. And I was like, man, you guys are great. I was like, yeah, because I saw the soldering involved, and I was like, Jesus, because like I can solder with the best of them, but there's like 32 pins.
Jeez. That
are like micro like soldered on that PFB, and I'm like,
yeah,
what? And like you need like a solder wick to like get the solder. I'm like going, I have a solder wick. I'm like, that sounds like I'm just gonna burn that board.
Yeah,
I don't have like I soldered some DIY guitar pedal stuff together, but that is not like micro port stuff. That's not like micro bead. And I'm like, I don't know if I have the equipment to like do that without burning the board. And they're like, we'll do it. And I'm like, sweet. So his attitude was, yeah, man, no, dude, like $30, we've been doing it, man. We get the good ones from Germany and like this and that. And, like they're really good. And so his attitude's very forward. I start asking about the CRTs. Your boy's like, oh, okay.
cools down real quick.
Well, no, it became like a thing. And I was kind of like, are you like gonna steal these from some dude or something? Like what's going on?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that thing gonna fall off the truck? Like what's going on, bro? Like I'm just looking for an old TV, and he made it seem like it was like, yeah, meet me around back kind of shit. I'm like, I'm gonna get shot in the head. Anyways, but that's my
oh, that's funny.
current quest is to get a CRT at some point because August has all these like older like analog game consoles, and like they look like crap on HD.
Oh,
like
they do.
They're dark. They look like shit.
Yeah.
Anyway. If anybody's got a lead on a CRT and doesn't want to treat it like a drug deal, let me know.
Bum, 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 bum. That's what he's going to do. That's what he's going to do.
No, that's what he's going to do. That's what he's going to do.
All right. So, let me see. Let me get down here. All right, here we go.
Whenever you're ready, I'll bust it out. Yeah.
All right, go for it.
Ninja Turtles the next mutation. You know what I'm saying? Episode 21, the guest.
Mm.
We got a guest staying with us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about it before last episode or the episode before that during the awful clip show where we saw Like Brothers. I still remember the name of that episode for some reason. I swear to God, I just burned that out of my head.
Yeah.
I can't remember things I should, but I remember Like Brothers.
Right.
We see a scene of Raphael taking care of Andre, who's a character who is one of Splinter's old blind chess friend.
Yes.
From New York, and putting him to bed in the lair. And we're like, well, that seems like we should have seen that episode already.
Yeah.
Well, here it is.
Why'd they leave that out?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Turns out we're about to figure it out. You know what I mean? So this was called The Guest, and it starts out like this. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm just going to warn you right now. There is some preposterous. I mean, this show's preposterous.
Oh, absolutely.
But there's some preposterous business in this episode. And it starts out with Splinter waiting on a dock in the daytime for his friend Andre.
Yeah.
Now, a couple things. Number one, the large sign that says "Do not walk on the dock."
Right. Yeah. Just blatantly right there.
Why? How could you use it?
Exactly. What else are you supposed to do on it?
Like,
play chess, apparently.
What? Just like roll a ship up and then whatever just sits there because they can't walk on the dock.
They can't walk.
Horse shit.
Yeah.
Second of all, it is about 4 p.m. Splinter. Now, one thing you realize is when Andre rolls up, he's 2 hours late, and Splinter's like,
"Now
I was about to ditch your ass."
I forgive
Splinter's
Andre for not obeying the sign. I forgive him because there's
no way. I mean, he can't read that.
He can't read that.
No.
I mean, I don't see Braille.
I can tell you it. No, there's no Braille there.
Yeah.
Unless he can read it with a stick or something.
Right.
Here's the deal. Also, Splinter meeting Andre, a blind man, on a dock. That's dangerous.
Yes.
You're leading Andre into some dangers. Now, I understand Andre is an older gentleman. Andre, I assume, has been blind since birth.
We assume.
Andre is a black gentleman who, ready for this? Because it's the 90s, easily was a middle-aged man during civil rights.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And was blind during it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a more terrifying time
to be
blind
and black
than in 1965?
Jeez.
When you're like, well, I don't know where the bad people are in the trucks, but
right,
I'm chilling. Now, the only thing I could think is he's in New York, probably a lifelong New Yorker. So hopefully things were a little more advanced than North.
Right.
Okay. So shout out to Andre, because Andre is a man who has lived through a lot of shit.
Oh, definitely.
Frankly.
Yeah.
And the minute I saw Andre, I started thinking, why is he walking on the dock? Well, he is older, so he probably knows how to walk on a dock. I thought, he's old. It's 1998. I was like, he was a full-grown man in civil rights.
Yeah.
So this is probably the least of his worries.
Oh, absolutely.
That he's ever had in his life. This is probably a cakewalk compared to what he's lived through. Now,
there you go.
You realize that Splinter is able to be friends with Andre. It really sinks in here because Andre's blind. So Andre doesn't know that Splinter is a mutant rat.
Right.
Does not know that. So to him, he's just this like wise Asian dude that he hangs out with.
Yeah.
And whatever. But that does not get Splinter around the hanging out on a dock in your full gi and burnt Cheeto at freaking 4 p.m.
Yeah, no.
In New York, chilling.
And blatantly disobeying a sign. Like, because if someone
like a dock officer, like literally like a waterfront officer could be like, what are you doing? Oh shit, what are you?
Right,
basically.
exactly.
Like all in one breath.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Andre's just like, I walked out here. You know what I mean? Like what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
So it turns out Andre's been evicted. And he tells us his story, which is just true about New York in the 90s. Wherein his building he lived in that was probably rent controlled, all of a sudden found a way around that and kicked out all of the elderly people in the apartment complex or the where he was living, to rent it to yuppies. You know what I'm saying? And this is nothing new to Andre. Andre's been through a lot of shit. Andre's just like, but I ain't got nowhere to live, so that's why I'm late. But you want to play chess,
right?
And Splinter's like, no, this won't stand. Splinter's like, you're gonna stay with me. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna stay with my family. And he's like, I can't do that. And he's like, you're gonna do it.
You're gonna come.
I'm gonna take you to my house, my crib. And he's like, all right, well, just for a couple days until I figure out what I'm doing. And he's like, take as long as you need. And Andre's like, I'm probably going to some like cool house.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like given that, given Splinter sounds kind of Asian, maybe there's like a little garden for me to walk in and like, that'd be cool. And
some culture,
like whatever. Yeah. It's like culture. It's my good friend Splinter. Hell yeah, dude. You know what I mean? However, he's going to a sewer and we're about to figure this out later.
We know.
Continuing the tradition of, really fucking weird people walking down the street like no one's going to notice. Dr. Quees, who looks like Albert Einstein's body if it was in a crawl space for 10 years, comes walking out full on gloves and all, walking the streets of New York, not a problem. Like, I guess your boy's got to commute. He's got to get from wherever he lives. I thought he lived in Dragon Lord's lair, but I guess not. He's just walking the mean streets.
And it's like his whatever coat. I don't remember if that's his lab coat, but it's kind of like a yellow, like a stained, like yellow kind of color. He's got a purple shirt underneath that with a blue vest, and then red gloves. And then his hair, he looks like Doc Brown, but like just even wilder.
If he was in someone's crawl space for 10 years.
Precisely. Yes. And like, you're turning heads. Regardless,
you're turning heads. I know. There's a whole joke about like, well, everyone in New York looks weird, but it's like not like that.
Not like that. No, not like that.
Like he'd be walking in there, what's up, bald bitch? Like I'd be like the first thing that someone said to him.
Exactly.
Anyway, he's out there scaring children. So he pulls out his little note recorder and he's basically like, "I'm awesome. Take note of that. Jot that down. Also, I created a biodisruptor rod that can basically microwave you." And burn you up. You dang old piece of toast. If he hits you with the biodisruptor rod. And so that's cool. So later on, Splinter and Andre are walking toward the lair. Splinter is carrying all of Andre's luggage.
It's so good.
And he's like, man, I can carry my stuff. And he's like, no, you're my guest. But it's obviously a ton of shit. So like Splinter's like trying to, and I'm going like, Splinter, like, I get it. Anyway, so Dr. Quees is hauling ass, I guess. I don't know where he's going. Like, he's just like hoofing it to the Hammer Castle Dragon Lair, or like wherever that is. He's like hoofing it, and they run into each other, and they all fall over. Yes, that's a great shot. That is Splinter. Like, what the hell is that dude doing? And we see that the Andre's walking stick, his little cane, and the biodisruptor rod fall into a neat little pile.
They do.
Splinter gets up, holds the luggage in front of him, which all of a sudden I realized, that's probably why he's carrying all the luggage so he can hide his face.
Right. And I wish they would have done something that would have wish they would have done some gag with that. That it would have been like, oh, hey, can I help you? No, my friend's helping me, and the other person can't see that it's a rat. Like that would have been great.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I mean, it sounds like little trouble to go to after you were just on the dock at 4:00, just like chilling, and for 2 hours,
right?
He sat on that dock for 2 hours, and not one person gave a shit. They're like, oh no, it's just a big old rat. It's New York. Rats get big and they wear clothes.
Here's the other thing. What if this dock was in a subsection of New York that was reserved for only blind people? And that's how you got to remember too. All the guards are blind. But you got to remember too, Splinter goes to, because there's other people at this apartment complex or wherever it is. And so they might have a door guard or something, or at least some people going in and out. Splinter can't be like, let me go sneak in the back or go in through the sewers. I'll meet you inside. He's probably just going to go in with your boy and I don't know. I would have loved to have seen
I
all
always
of that.
assumed that Andre put his stuff somewhere. He was evicted. I mean, that sounds like.
Oh, okay. I see. You're
That
saying that
sounds
he's
like
already
like
kicked
the
out.
police were there, like kicking people out. Yeah, so
Okay,
he
that
probably
makes more
stored his
sense.
stuff in the lobby or something for a minute, and
That's
then they
true.
grabbed it. I don't know, but I love that there's this effort to cover up his identity, but he does. In front of Dr. Queese, he apologizes. Dr. Queese is like, I don't care. When you're a genius, you don't have to care, and you suck. I don't forgive you. I'm an asshole. And he basically is like, I'm going to grab my biodisruptor rod, and I'm going to get out of here. But you quickly find out that he grabs the walking stick, not the biodisruptor rod, and Andre grabs that rod. Now, Andre immediately starts walking with it and using it to tap on the ground. And it's just making like hot fire.
It is.
Like on the ground. Andre doesn't notice. Splinter doesn't notice or care. And they just walk by.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
They just keep going.
They're like, see ya. Back in the lair, Donnie's chilling. And he's talking. Sorry, do you have something to say?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Donnie is in the lair with everybody talking about a new security system he's put in. And basically, when a motion detector goes off, it will sound an alarm, and then inside the lair, right near the ladder that leads straight to the lair, which I mean that's kind of I understand that's convenient,
right?
But they do have a ladder. It's been used by Shredder and the Foot before, and the Rank.
Yes,
that goes right into their living room.
Yeah,
these sewer grates will open. And a ton of ping pong balls will fall on the ground. I guess that's meant to like Home Alone somebody.
Yeah,
you know what
I
I'm
guess.
Saying?
Yeah, that's like
you're gonna Home Alone them right off the bat,
and it lets them know. But I think an alarm actually sounds too when it happens to
does.
wake them up.
But like that's also how they leave and come from the sewer a lot. So like it's like one of those things where you only set the alarm if like everyone's home.
Yeah,
because they're almost all never home at the same time. Like Raph's always going out doing something. Like he's gonna get ping ponged a ton. Anyway, it gets triggered because Splinter and Andre start coming down the sewers.
Oh yeah,
and everybody's like, "Who the hell's this dude?" And Raph rolls up and he's like, "Yo, Splinter, man, he's a human though." And then of course, Andre, oblivious to everything, is like, of course I'm a human. What else would I be?
Right. Yeah, and you don't understand.
There's all these jokes, and I'll just shorten this up for everybody. There's all these jokes about like Andre not knowing he's like in the sewer. So he thinks that like Splinter's house is like shitty, basically. Like that's the whole joke. He thinks the Splinter's house is a shithole. Because when all the ping pong balls fall, he's like, you need to talk. Is this hail?
Yeah,
you need to talk to your your landlord about this, about your roof, man. The weather in here, and Splinter's like, oh, it's more comfy on the couch, and he like gets him over there. Your boy Andre is just acting a fool, dude. Andre is just up in their crap. He takes some of Venus's yoga balls and throws them, causing an explosion. He smells the smoke and goes, "What's that smoke?" And they're like everyone's like holding a spliff, and they're like, fuck. Oh, no, that's just Donnie cooking.
He's like a menace. Cooking. Like he's literally a menace because this is a classic Dennis the Menace. Like, oh, come into my house.
Oh yeah.
Oh, let me touch all your or a Bart Simpson thing where it's like, oh, like when Bart Simpson goes over to the Bush's house when they move across the street, and it's he just messes with everything. That's what this dude Andre is all about. Just like straight
Andre
up, just up through the door.
Like, just like Andre's trying. I love it that Andre's. And that's just like an old man.
Yeah.
Andre is saying he doesn't want to be a bother.
Right.
But your boy almost shoots himself with a stick that shoots an arrow.
Yeah.
He grabs Leo's sword that does he could. But he's got eye protection. Everybody else is screwed.
He's got them circle eyes, the circle glasses.
He's got Leo's sword at one point.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna go open and shut. And he's like,
because it's scissors.
This should be in the kitchen. And like and they're like, oh my god. And the whole time Splinter's just like, bro, he's a good man.
Right.
We're just gonna deal with it for a couple days, and it's all good. And And it's actually kind of funny. There's
is.
definitely some Mr. Magoo vibes, especially like when he almost
definitely.
like gets hit, gets hit with the arrow.
Yeah.
Then he hits the wall and he's like, "Oh, a hat rack." He puts his hat on it and shit. You're like, oh, "Okay."
It's so good.
So in the Dragon's Lair, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Queese is trying to get his biorepulsive rod to like work, but it doesn't because it's a stick. Dragon Lord's not happy. He's like, I was promised like a demonstration. And you have 24 hours to find the actual biodisruptor rod, or I'm gonna eat you, or whatever he says. So that puts the ticking time clock on Dr. Queese.
It does.
Meanwhile, back in the turtle lair, the whole gang is eating what Mikey calls turtle dogs.
Turtle dogs. Yeah.
And
for no reason.
Andre is not happy with that. Andre's like, this boy gonna poison me. And he's like, I'm gonna go get some proper hot dog fixins.
Mm-hmm.
And like, just leaves.
Just leaves the party.
Yeah. And no one gets up to help the blind man who's never been here before.
And has to climb a ladder to get out.
Has to climb a ladder. But he's fine. And no one cares.
He has to climb a ladder to get out of the abandoned subway station that is in the sewer that he has only been to this one time, and he was guided here. And they just let him go.
It's not Andre, man. I mean, like, I don't know, what it's like to grow up blind or whatever, but like, he's got to be good at mapping. Like in his head, bro.
It has to be.
Like he's probably good at mapping. He's probably like, oh wait, I know where we are. And he's like, oh, we just went down this street, took a right.
Right.
Then we went down a ladder. He's like, well, I'll just retrace my steps. I don't know. But
yeah.
They almost act like they don't want to be seen out during the day. However, Splinter at least does not care about that.
He's at least okay in the afternoon. So I mean, like around 4:00, Splinter's okay, but this is looking like it's happening around noon. So, it could be that they're kind of just like, well, maybe he dies, like, and then we don't have to worry about it.
Oh damn,
maybe
that'd be dark.
That would be.
So, back on them streets, Andre
is
fine. And he goes to a place called Dr. Cheese.
Dr. Cheese. What is this? I love it.
It is a cheese store.
Oh my goodness.
And
it is fantastic.
Andre knows where that cheddar is. He
knows how to get it.
And he keeps like triggering the rod off, like as he's walking. And like he's carrying literally like life and death in his hands. And like no one notices. He doesn't notice. It's all good.
Right.
However, Dr. Queese has tracked him here because he has like a doodad that tracks the biodisruptor.
Yeah.
And he's following him, and he's like, oh, this is like taking candy from a baby. But he can't catch Andre. He lunges at Andre, and he falls in the poop right there in a barrel. And he's like very mad, but he can't help himself. Probably shouldn't be walking around during the day. No. You know what I mean? And anyway, back in the lair, the turtles are really irritated that Splinter brought a guest over. And it's just weird because it's like, I kind of get it from the turtles angle. Cause it's like, look, man, like we don't bring humans down here, dude. Right. It's like a thing we don't do. And it's true. There's no April in this continuity. I mean, like they don't have a human friend. There's no Casey Jones.
Right.
They don't have a human friend. That's not how that works. They are like, Ninja Turtles. That's basically what it is. So, but Splinter's kind of like, look, man, the guy's blind. I mean, what do you want from me? I'm just trying to be a good friend. And they're like, okay. Just then, Andre shows up with every bit of cheese.
And he
dumps out this bag of cheese.
This is where my problem is. Like,
it's just cheese.
It's just cheese. Where's the rest of the fixings? Like I don't know. That's one problem. The second problem is that was he expecting them to wait before they finish eating their hot dogs or turtle dogs or whatever? Like I don't know because that seems really rude and
hot
impractical.
Dogs with cheese is good.
It is.
Like cheese dogs are good.
Oh, they are. They absolutely are. But I don't know if it's like leave the dinner table and go get like cheese and then come back and expect everyone to still wanting to be. I don't know. It's very strange.
Well, I'll say this. I think that what they're trying to imply here is that they're in an ongoing feud with TGIF.
Ooh.
And someone famously asked repeatedly, got any cheese?
Got any? Oh.
And Andre's here to say, oh, I got your goddamn
got all
cheese.
the cheese. I got the Dr.
Nerd.
Cheese.
What do you want?
Oh, dang. Throwing the
You know what I mean?
around.
I got the cheese.
Dang.
Got him.
Nerd.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yeah. Jaleel White.
No. You have to verify that.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't know if it landed right. So I was like, I might better.
It was a little off.
It was a little weird.
Yeah, we got it though.
But yeah.
So he's got the cheese. And your boy Andre doesn't just like some old, oh, this is some cheddar. This is some Swiss. Oh, and you want a little pepper jack? Your boy's into them like awful cheeses, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Your boy's into that like aged 10-year ass, Limburger ass, nasty cheese shit. Like he's just all about that, bro.
It'll put hair on your chest.
Which is just so funny because he says, yeah, like, oh, this cheese right here is going to put some hair on your chest, even though I don't think you need it because you're hairy as hell.
Right.
And Splinter's like, and
it's so good.
It's the cheese in question is Bavarian Schlapp. And that is the nastiest, greatest cheese, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not having it.
On them streets, Dr. Queese has some rank. Following him, he finds a sewer entrance, and he's like, "This is where the thing is. I can taste it. It tastes like Bavarian Schlapp." And like he even knows about that shit, which is kind of cool. So Andre's getting ready for bed, and I guess this is the scene where like Raph's a cool guy. Like this is like the supporting evidence and like brothers.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just gonna say this. So we see Andre sitting in bed using one of Raph's size, like on his shoe somehow.
Yeah.
Like you don't really see. He's like just stabbing his shoe. And you're like, okay. Raph rolls up and he's just like, God damn. And he's like, are you trying to use this as a shoehorn? He goes, I thought it was a shoehorn. And he snatches it and goes, that's not a shoehorn. And he's like, well, if it's not, it makes a good one because it was just helping me get my slippers off these old, tired feet of mine. And Splinter's like, or Raph's like, you know what? Yeah, it is. It is. You can use it, boss. Which I guess is supposed to be Raph's like kind-hearted side of him.
Yeah, but like Andre should know that that's not a shoehorn.
Let me tell you something right now. I know, whatever. Maybe I don't know what old, tired feet are. You know what I'm saying? I thought my feet are old and tired already. I know, but, you know what I mean? Maybe I don't know when you've lived as long as Andre.
It's true.
But if you need a shoehorn to take off your slippers before bed,
I just thought about that.
You need to see a podiatrist.
Well,
you need to see
a
foot doctor.
Ryan, he doesn't see anything. So, I mean, he can't. So, I mean, he can't. You're asking him to do the impossible.
That was goddamn brutal. Oh, my God. You're acting like this man can't see what's right in front of him. You know what I mean? Like,
right, yeah.
Jesus.
Oh. With his own two eyes.
Oh, God.
Oh, Lordy day.
Live on YouTube, everybody.
Right.
So, share the show.
Yes.
So, no, he does not see a podiatrist, but he should feel his way to one. Let's put it that way. Because if you need a shoehorn to take off your slippers,
you have bigger
need
issues.
The doctor.
Yes.
You need the doctor. Okay.
Yeah.
But, and also, I'm surprised Raph's not like I think it would be really funny if like he finished using it and then Raph like tucks him in like he does and says, hey, dream about babes, homie. See you later.
Right.
And he like literally like takes that sigh like by the end and like carries it and like puts it in another room. Cause like if you're using that on your nasty feet to get your slippers off. Like Raph should not want anything to do with that until it's been like sterilized.
Exactly.
Like,
yes.
That would have been hilarious.
That would have been.
But he's like, dream about babes, dude.
Why does he tell him to dream about babes? Like, why? Like,
he's making a lot of assumptions on Andre, but anyway.
Yeah, it's very weird. Like, I just love that that's Raph's go-to. Like, just, all right, man, I'm gonna tuck you in, dream about babes. Like, okay, sure.
I don't know. I think it's just. I don't think it's an onion. I think it's just dream about babes.
It's just dream about babes.
Like I want to go layers for layers on this, but I don't think it's there. I think that Raph's like, that's like good night to Raph.
Yeah,
he's like dream about babes,
man. Dream about
babes.
Which is,
cool.
If we'd watched this before we found out about Cuddly, we might have ended the show with dream about babes. Like that could have been an exit. Like, all right, guys.
Oh yeah,
dream about babes.
Dream about babes. Yeah, I mean, I have an episode title there. Who knows?
Who knows? We might.
Yeah, but yeah. So I can tell you, I've lived this one. This one triggered me. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-oh.
So everyone lays down, and I just gotta tell you. I mean, we find out definitively because I think in the past we've seen the turtles asleep. Yeah. You don't know whether everyone just dozed off, like where they were. Like, because it seems like they've been on the couch, like one guy's on the ground, you know what I mean? And like they're just sleeping. And you're like, well, that kind of feels like, honestly, everyone could have just fallen asleep that night because they were like hanging out and then whatever. But we find out because we see an organized turtle tuck-in. We see the turtles go to bed, right? Yeah. And the process for the turtles going to bed is find a place and go to bed. They don't have beds.
No.
This confirms it. They don't have a place to sleep. Even though they have that subway car sitting right there, which could easily have some beds in it.
Right. I think Splinter has a bed.
They just grab... Oh, I'm sure Splinter has a bed.
Yeah.
They just grab a spot. Leo and Mikey are just like... Legs are like intertwined on the couch. And Raph's like, well, yeah, see you guys later. And like goes and sits on a like recliner or some shit. And Leo uses the clapper.
He does.
Turn the lights off.
I forgot about that.
Confirms.
Yes. He totally used the clapper. That was amazing.
He used the clapper.
I can't believe I forgot about that.
They have a clapper. And it does a thing. And about half the lights go off, which is fine. I guess we need situational awareness in the layer. At all times. And they go to sleep. But, and this is what triggered me, Andre snores with the sound of 1,000 crashing planes.
Yeah.
Like, and I know this feeling.
Yeah.
Because of the first time my buddy Brad and I went on the road to an X-Wing tournament, we were staying overnight.
Yeah.
And we got one hotel room to split because we were like, hey, this is fine. Like, we're going to be here a couple nights. Like, it's cheaper that way. It's all good. 2 twin beds. What's the problem in that?
What's the problem?
Brad outsnores me by a factor of 1,000,000 to 1. I've been told I snore. I snore nothing like him. He is the loudest snorer. You've heard about chainsaws and cutting lumber.
Right.
He snores so loud. So the first night he beat me to sleep, he snored. I got no sleep. Dead ass. I got no sleep.
Dang.
Like, when I say no sleep, I mean literally, I don't think I went to sleep. Not even dozed. It was wild. So the next night, I'm thinking ahead. I'm like, look, the problem is that he beat me to sleep.
There you go.
But I am going to like pull back my caffeine. I'm going to like run around all day because I got no sleep last night. So I'm going to be tired.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm going to beat that dude to sleep.
Yeah.
And then it's all good. So we're talking a little bit and he's like watching something on his phone and I go to sleep. Dead ass. I feel myself fall off. It's all good.
Yeah.
Sometime later, he lets out the first snore, wakes me up. That's it. No sleep that night.
No. Jeez.
Oh, yeah. And yeah. So when this happened, I was like, son.
Yeah.
I've been there, bro. And you can't sleep. If you can't sleep through it, you can't sleep through it.
If you can't sleep, yeah. I'm used to it for some reason. Like I can just do it. I know I snore, but my dad was like he would just violently snore. Like it would just be like normal, like,
oh yeah,
and then and just like it was terrifying. Yeah. But I lived with it my entire life. That I'm just like, oh, I kind of there's a pattern in there somewhere where you can kind of tell when it's about to ramp up.
There's even a huge difference though, even if you're just down the hall from someone snoring,
right,
in the same room.
Oh well, my dad and I shared the same bed for like 20 years. So, yeah. It's,
okay,
it's normal.
Okay,
at least I thought
that's
it was.
Not weird.
No, yeah, probably not.
No, you're fine.
So,
well, we'll talk later about it.
We'll talk. Yeah,
we don't want to go. We don't want to get in the weeds. But there's some things you should know.
That's true.
About how that might not be great. So Raph leaves because he's like, I can't sleep. It's bullshit. Right. I guess everyone else can sleep through it, which is maybe Raph's a snorer. Maybe he's me.
Could be.
You know what I'm saying? And anyway, so Raph gets out of the manhole and he runs right into the rink and Dr. Queese because they're just right outside the thing. And this whole protracted thing happens. And this is like the only part where the episode feels a little bit like, all right, like fight or don't. Like, I don't know what's happening.
Right.
But they talk and, basically like Dr. Queese is like, I want that blind man's walking stick.
Right.
And Raph's like, for real? Like, that's what you're here for? Like,
yeah.
You're not here to like kill us? You're just here for that? And he's like, yes. That's fine. But then the rank capture him, and then Dragonlord, he calls Dragonlord. Dragonlord says like, oh well, I don't give a shit. Kill him, and then save the shell for me, and then also get the biodisruptor, and then because I'm mad, and it's like okay, but then Raph's like, nah, son, and they fight a lot.
Right.
And Raph gets away because.
Yeah, they had a whole scene. Where there's buckets on the roof or something, or on
there's like buckets and cans on this like lean-to roof, and he like knocks it over, and then they fight in a car, and it just makes no sense. I'm like, okay, it's just like okay, like this had to happen right now. Like,
yeah,
the beat for it just kind of felt wrong for this to start like this. Anyway,
it did.
So, Raph gets back to the lair, triggers the ping pong alarm system. Everyone wakes up. They're all covered in ping pongs.
Yep.
Ping pong balls is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Raph explains the situation. But then Venus points out that Andre and his cane are both gone.
Yeah.
Already. Because your boy Andre left in the night.
Just gone.
With an apology letter and said, hey, did inconvenience you? I'm going to go look for a place to live.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, don't we feel like shit?
Yep.
And I'm like, should you?
I don't think they should.
I was like, I feel like everybody was damn good to him.
Absolutely.
Like, they were annoyed, but they were like fine, and like they bedded him down. But I think the truth is this: Andre don't want to live there.
He doesn't.
Like Andre's not looking to be a freeloader here. Andre's like,
no.
This place is weird as hell. It hails over there.
Yeah.
Like, it smells like shit.
Yeah.
Like somebody's smoking that sticky wicky, and no one wants to say who it is.
Right.
I'm too old for that shit. And I'm sleeping on a couch. And this sucks.
Mm-hmm.
But they have great shoehorns though.
They do.
Shoehorns are out of this world.
Yeah, excellent. Something around
like
about.
I wore slippers for 5 straight years because no shoehorn could get these damn things off these old tired feet. You know what I'm saying? So like I'll give that to them.
Right. They got that going.
And this is the part that just makes you laugh. It just does.
Mm-hmm.
So the first reaction you're going to have, Venus leads the charge.
Right.
We got to go find Andre because Dr. Queese is out there looking for him. He's got like 5 ass rank dudes with like weird blade knives, and they're going to kill him. Yeah. Like, why wouldn't they just kill him for the cane? Because like, here's the thing about Andre. Andre holds his own.
He does.
Andre ain't like looking to get his cane stolen. He's been in New York his whole life. You think you're going to get his cane from him? Dead ass? No. Andre will probably convince you to go walk off that dock.
Absolutely.
Or he'll fight you for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But they're like, that might not work so well when there's like 5 dragon boys with blades. So we need to go find him. Splinter. No, sons and my daughter. You can't do it. Everyone's like, why? But why? Why? I don't know, but why? He goes, it's daytime. We can't go out during the daytime.
What? What stopped you before?
And they all look at him and go, for real? He's like, we will wait until nightfall and then search for Andre.
Goodness.
And they're like, it's the morning, bro.
Right. Like a whole day.
And he's like, cannot risk it. must stay inside when it's daytime. I'm like, Splinter.
Yeah.
My man, you were on a dock for 2 hours in the afternoon in New York, right by the fucking Hudson.
Yeah.
You were just sitting by the Hudson, no problem, bro.
Right.
Like, you probably saw like 3 gang body dumps in there while you were just sitting there in 2 hours. They probably landed that plane on the Hudson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What was that guy's name again?
Oh, I don't know.
The pilot that did it? He had a funny name.
Oh,
anyway,
I don't know.
He's probably like, we're going down the Hudson. And you saw that shit happen. You're like, oh, we're Andre. Oh, he's not on that plane. You know what I mean? Like, that's what you were doing for 2 hours.
Yeah. Is this do as I say, not as I do kind of thing?
Yeah. It's bullshit.
Bullshit.
And I my only thought is that the previous shots of Dr. Queese and Andre and Splinter outside had to be written to happen at night. Like, and they just shot them during the day. Like,
that's the only thing
that had to be it. That it was late at night, and I don't know why they just didn't meet in the park. There's no reason they didn't meet in the park. And he was in the park at night, and Andre was 2 hours late.
Right.
And Andre says, dude, I got evicted. And he goes, oh, bullshit, you're going to stay with me. And they go.
Yeah.
At night. And Dr. Queese is walking through the park at night because he's an asshole. He'll do that. Like,
he will.
Dr. Queese just walk through the park, making notes to himself how fucking cool he is, and have his little disruptor rod that looks suspiciously like a blind man's walking stick for some reason. And they could have just done all that in the park. And there's plenty of poopy and plenty of trash cans for Dr. Queese to fall into. There's all bushes and weird ass things and trees for him to run into. There's plenty of obstacles for Dr. Queese to look dumb as hell in. There's no need for it to all happen there.
Yeah, no.
But it seems like when they were shooting, they were like, but what if it was on the dock? And everyone's like, it is 2 PM. And they're like, we don't care.
Yeah, no.
Because I can't imagine that the people that wrote this script wrote, New York, dock, day in that script. Like when they started shooting that scene. Yeah. So it is funny to me because as I'm watching this episode, I'm like, whoever just runs around the daytime now, I guess, whatever. When he says, we must wait, I'm like, we must wait now?
Right.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Anyways,
makes no sense.
That was the weird, that I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then that dumb raft scene that happens at night, by the way, like is in the early morning hours.
Yeah.
How he didn't cross paths with Andre.
Right.
At some point, seeing that he didn't seem to get that far from the sewer.
Exactly.
Anyway. But yeah, that back to back, I'm like, okay, cool.
And he's using the cane. The cane is the disruptor. That thing makes a sound and a loud light beams off of it.
Yes.
How do you not wake up from that? Like if snoring is waking you up, then a loud electric sound that he should be able to hear that and know that something's not right. And going out even if he goes out at night with Raphael at the same time, how do they not notice that in passing, like you said, because they didn't get too far from the sewer. So it doesn't make any sense.
To get through the sewers and the ping pong balls and all the other shit, and to get up that ladder, Andre's got to use the stick to get through the ladder.
Right.
They're going to sleep through. He's like making Star Wars sounds every time he's walking.
Right.
Splinter's going to sleep through that.
Yeah. No.
Anyways. So it's dark now. I'm sorry. I forgot this scene. We're on them streets during the day. Andre is walking with a disruptor rod, using that damn thing and blasting everything on the ground.
Yep.
Dr. Queese is on a bike now.
This is the best.
Bikes over to him, tries to get him again, but misses and ends up in the poopy again.
Yep.
And now we are in 100% like Baby's Day Out,
yes.
Mr. Magoo territory here, where Andre is just oblivious.
Yeah.
So now it's dark. We've let Andre wander the streets for a whole 18, 16 hours now. And now it's going to get dark. So now Leo's like, let's go search for him.
Right.
And Splinter, so Mikey's like, well, trying to find a blind guy in New York, that's like trying to find a noodle in a macaroni factory.
Mm-hmm.
To which I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He sticks out a little more than other people in New York.
That's true.
Am I wrong? I mean, I know there's other blind people in New York, but
Sure.
like, if we see a guy with a stick that's dropping ass sparks everywhere,
right,
that's going to be Andre.
Yeah.
Like,
definitely.
if we see a guy detained by police because he just like bio-reduced some weird person he bumped a stick into the foot of.
Right.
And we see the police like in stop and frisk mode.
Yeah.
Then we'll know that's Andre.
Exactly.
Because you just immolated a person on the street.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so Splinter makes some point about how like, no, because if you know this old noodle, you can find him as easy as a walk in the park, like by the docks where I hang out. And everyone's like, this makes no goddamn sense. He's like, trust me, because I think we go back to the water.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like,
okay.
Is that where you hang out now, Splinter? Is by the docks?
Yeah.
Because we thought at night you went to the park, but now you go to the docks during the day.
Yeah.
And you're the one talking about ninja. We sneak in the night. We strike hard, fade away. We don't like all that good shit. Like you go on us for riding our motorcycle on our Humvee at night.
Yeah.
And like you're out there just plain ass day on the docks for 2 hours.
In playing chess.
Just not even playing, just waiting.
Just waiting.
Like what would you do? Like work on your opens or something? Like what were you doing the whole time? Anyway, so by the bay, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dr. Queese in the rank, they find Andre hanging out. Andre defends himself, not knowing that the cane is a weapon.
Right.
Dr. Queese drops some marbles on the ground.
Yes. Oh my god.
Makes a blind man fall. So put that in Dr. Queese's.
Just
yes.
Yeah.
Like put that in Dr. Queese's resume.
Right. When he's going to get like another job after this at another evil organization, like this is going to be like page 1. Like definitely.
Oh yeah.
Threw marbles on the ground in front of a blind man at night. Yeah. By the bay.
Well, this probably inspired, that Sum 41 song. Because he does laugh when an old person falls.
Oh, that's true. It could have. The timing checks out. It could have. You're not wrong.
Like a young version of them, they're just walking by and they're like,
"Oh yeah,
that was fucking hilarious." Wait, I got an idea for a song.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
I feel like I could have sold that joke a little better. I feel like. Nah.
The problem is that they're Canadian, so I don't think that.
Oh shit, they are Canadian.
Unless they had telescope. I did a telescope, so they can see. They just happen to be looking at the bay. That's where
he's like,
they do it. Like, oh goodness.
Like they actually love looking at the stars. And then one day, one of them like bumped their leg into it and like knocked the telescope down.
Right.
And he's like, sorry about that. Sorry. And then he looks through it and he's like, what are you talking about? This old guy fell. And
right.
then they laugh.
And they laugh. And then there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there you go. And you're all set.
History was made.
Oh, goddamn. Yep. So Dr. Queese gets a hold of the rod now because, he made an old person slip on marbles like a real champ. The Turtles show up and they wonder how they're going to find Andre, but then Raph says, just look for the trail of broken shit, which is like voice.
Yes.
Because it's true, because Andre's like a menace, dude. He's a Dennis the Menace, Mr. Magoo character.
Oh, absolutely.
So somehow Splinter gets to the docks ahead of the Turtles, even though they were certified in their vehicles.
Oh yeah. We didn't see Splinter.
He gets there instead. And I did like this part because Splinter's like, oh, you want to fuck with an old man with a stick?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Dr. Queese is like, excuse me? He's like, no, I said, do you like playing around with old guys with sticks?
Yeah.
And Dr. Queese is like, well, I did just play around with that old guy with a stick, and that worked out pretty well. And he's like, cool, I'm going to whip your ass. And I'm like, yay, Splinter, yay. That was great. So, like, look at that stick, dude. That's some dangerous shit, dude.
Yeah, and Andre was walking around full of pain, just walking around with that.
No, he was, dude. He was, and like Dr. Queese knows how to use it. You know what I'm saying? So he
definitely does.
Oh God. So this is like the fighty fights. You know what I'm saying? This just happens, and you know, I'm just trying to like hit the high points. Like so, they fight. So Venus rescues Andre, who fell on the ground, and just as Splinter manages to disarm Dr. Queese of the rod, since it flies hundreds of feet back right toward Andre. Venus and Andre try to escape. She's like, "I'll get you out of here," but they're rounded up and caught by Dr. Queese.
Yeah.
Who takes the rod, but then Venus uses the classic like "don't look up," and she like throws balls in the air and she goes, "Don't look up."
Yeah, yeah, and he does.
And Dr. Queese is like, "I'm gonna look up."
Yeah, of course.
And she just grabs the rod and like snaps that shit in half. She's like, "Boom! How about that for your rod?
Take that."
And then Andre says, "I'm not sure what's happening, but I'm enjoying myself." I'm like, "Yeah, man, this is cool shit."
I mean, that's the most excitement he's heard in a long time.
No, seriously. So basically, Andre, like everyone's digs in the dirt. Dr. Queese runs away. He says, "It took me generations to build this rod," and he's like, "I'm like that looks like it took you about 10 minutes," but like he's like, "Finally," he runs away, and with his rod, broken rod, and Andre's like, "I got new news." Everyone's like, "What?" He's like, "This whole day, I found myself somewhere in a new crib."
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Damn, for real? That's a rad crib." Yeah. So they show up. Now, you might forgive Andre for not having any lamps.
Yeah.
But he doesn't need them.
He doesn't need them. Why? Why would he have them?
Which is fucking cool.
It is.
Like
that is.
I know this is good. And I'm really not trying to make fun of people who visually.
No,
really
absolutely not.
I made it a joke, but this is actually the first time it occurred to me. I'm 41 years old. I'm some 41 years old. Okay. And so good. This is the first time it ever occurred to me that blind people don't need lights.
They don't need lights
in their home.
No.
At all.
At all.
Not one bit.
No. Zero.
Which, if you think about that, is badass in a lot of ways. Like, they get driven in the dark anyway.
Right. They're just sitting there like Whistler's mother, right?
That made me think, bro, about how if you break in that house, you are at the damn dead ass disadvantage.
Oh, absolutely.
You are at a huge disadvantage. You've never been in that place.
No.
But Andre, he's already behind you.
Exactly. Yeah, he already knows. He knows what's up.
Number one, he's just to walk around. He's already armed.
Oh, absolutely. That's
so. Fantastic. I mean, that's just. I mean, he stays strapped or get capped.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Jot that down real quick. But I'm not joking. When at first I kind of went, Andre got no lamps. It's dark as hell in there.
Right.
And I thought, Andre doesn't need lamp one. Imagine how much money he saves on light bulbs.
He has to. Exactly. That's probably how he can afford rent in New York. Because goodness.
In the 90s?
In the 90s.
Well, he's probably on some kind of pension or something, I'm sure.
Probably. I mean, yeah. But still.
I mean, I don't know how he managed to find a rent-controlled place in New York. I mean,
that's true, too. Did he paint the... Oh, wait, hold on. Let me see if I can zoom in here. Did he... What's all... Oh, it's not going to let me do it. Dang.
No, that's graffiti.
That right there. Is that just graffiti?
That's graffiti.
Because that looks like it's going on the wall, on the window. So you're saying it's graffiti outside the window?
It's graffiti outside the building, I'm pretty sure.
But it also looks like it's on the inside because there's some part right there that looks like it's connected.
Well, that's also
to that.
Probably just some messed up paint.
It could be. And then this kind of looks like a rock climbing wall. So I don't know. I'm very interested in this whole thing. And
Andre doesn't.
I hope those aren't books right there, but what do I know? What do I know?
Oh, well, they're Braille books, dude.
They're Braille books. I know.
Come on now.
I guess I've never seen one, but I guess it's on paper. I don't know. For a split second, my brain, forgive my ignorance, but my brain was like a split second. They're like, no, Braille's on metal. But I was like, no, that's only because that's the only place
Braille's
I've seen.
on metal.
Right. Yeah. Like that's, so I was thinking about a book that's made of metal that's just got all the Braille in it. And I'm like, that's only because I've seen it at like ATMs and stuff.
They have screens that are made of like a plastic material, and like they have things underneath, and like they come up and they let you browse the internet.
Oh, that's fascinating. Huh.
Like the surface will turn to Braille.
Right.
You can scroll.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
It's super sweet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, like, but
that's kind of like how I passed years ago. I passed a phone like booth, or not a phone booth, a like a phone store, I guess, for lack of a better term. And there were deaf people in there talking about their cell phones, and I was like, oh, like, because I could tell that just the way they were talking that they had some hearing issues.
Yeah.
And I just was like eavesdropping a little bit, and I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, because they can text, and this was before text was like super huge, and it just clicked, and I was like, oh, that's fascinating. I never thought about like that kind of technology working for those kind of people that have those kind of needs. And
yeah, oh so yeah, they can do like speech to text too. On there, so they can actually talk to you, right? They can. There's all kind of cool stuff. There's an app I want to download. I keep putting it off, or I keep forgetting, but I keep remembering. Yeah. There's an app, I need to find it, where it's pretty new, where you can just log in and you can be someone's eyes for something.
Oh, I've heard about
basically,
this.
If someone's like visually impaired, like you can they're like, oh, I can't tell which is like the whole milk or the skim milk, and you can just be like, oh, it's the red one on the left.
Yeah, it's kind of like
I want to do that so bad.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. It's kind of like a service that like you phone a friend almost, and like
basically you're just like available. You're like, yeah, I'll help you out.
Right, that's like, legit.
That's like my entire like purpose of being.
Oh yeah,
I'm like made for that.
You are.
All I want to do is help people out.
Exactly.
Anyway, they're gonna play chess tonight in the park. Even though Andre's had hell of a day, everyone kind of has had a hell of a day.
Oh yeah.
But Splinter, he doesn't stop till the early morning light, apparently. and then even after, when it's the late afternoon light and he's at the dock for 2 hours.
Right.
He don't. When does Splinter sleep? I have no idea.
I have no idea.
But they're doing that, and then they shake hands, and then the last thing Andre says is a funny. Andre says, "Splinter, can I ask you a question?" Splinter's like, "Sure, you're my best friend," and he's like, "Why are you always wearing that fur coat, bro?"
Yeah,
because it's hot.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why are you wearing 3 coats, Andre, yourself?
Yeah,
if it's so warm.
Exactly.
He's like, you a werewolf or something? And everyone looks around, and Splinter goes, or something. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's like, ha, 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 we're monsters.
Yep.
And Andre's like, ha, that's great. You're just regular people, right? Right? You're not lying, right?
And then credits.
And then it's over. So Andre got a new crib. There, you can see there that it's definitely graffiti on that last shot you got.
Let me go back. Right, but it's on
really
the inside.
It's like under. Is it under the paint? Is it inside the paint?
I just pointed at my screen thinking you could see what I was doing. Like right
here,
I can see it looks like that continues on.
It's carrying on.
Yeah. And because it's on the inside of this.
Somebody's not very good at edging. That's what it looks like when I try to edge around a window. That's what the window looks like.
Because this looks like, let me zoom in some more and let's see if I can zoom in and enhance. It won't let me pull it up.
It's on the window frame.
Yeah, it's right there.
That's weird.
It's on the
would it be
inside of the house. I don't know. This is very weird, but
something tells me Andre's not going to complain.
No, I don't. I think he likes it. I'm sure he'll be okay with it. So
yeah, I wonder if anyone's ever done stained glass with like spray paint and glass. That probably has to be pretty cool. If you got like a big ass piece of plate glass and you got like a graffiti artist to hit that shit, I bet you it'd glow. It'd look cool.
Oh yeah, that would look cool.
Anyway, that was your boy Andre.
That was your boy guest. Andre.
It was episode 21.
Yeah. So this episode felt weird. Like definitely felt weird. It felt like, I don't know, but I did enjoy it. I did think it was funny. The jokes were there, and that was funny. Dr. Queese, I like Dr. Queese a lot. The Mr. Magoo stuff, it's kind of played out definitely, especially for like our generation. I think I'm not so sure how much of that is has permeated into like the cultures that preceded us, but that came after us. But like, I don't know, just for us growing up, it felt like every TV show had at least one of these episodes where there was some, rope-a-dope and all this stuff with Mr. Magoo style type of comedy, slapstick comedy.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It does its job. It's whatever. I do like a little bit of character development with Splinter here, seeing his friend and getting some more investment in that relationship. But like, I don't know. It was fine. There was nothing. It was more funny, if anything. And that's, what else could you ask for from this? So. Yeah.
I got to share some comments because they're killing me.
Okay.
People are dropping during the episode in the live chat.
Let's do it.
We've got damn Splinter is a tier 1 bro from John Clements when he's like, you can stay at my house.
Right. Yeah.
Like, that's legit. Oh man. We got episode titles already. M. Wilson, episode 316, Dr. Queese Medicine Woman.
It writes itself. It's so good.
Mitch Fletcher comes in with drops the bomb. Episode 316, Blind Buddy and Me.
Oh,
blind buddy, blind buddy,
blind buddy.
Wherever he goes, we go. Let's see here.
That's excellent. Goodness.
Oh yeah, John Clemens comes in. It's Sullenberger. Captain Sullenberger is the guy that Sully who flew the plane into the Hudson.
The plane. Oh, okay.
And then John Clemens says, "Who told you about the telescopes?" in all caps. Because that's hilarious.
The telescopes. That's how they work.
And then Wilson says, "Ryan is so long goodbye years old," which is true. That's what it is. And then we got Mitch Fletcher with a second drop, episode 316, Queeze and Thank You.
That's so good. Oh,
they're coming in.
They're good.
Hot right now, you guys. I'm loving it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. John Clemens says those Home Alone tactics, which is completely what happened there.
The ping pongization.
Yep. The ping pongization of the world.
So, all right. Well, are you ready to jump on into?
Hope you're not tired of Dr. Queeze.
Yeah, hope you're not. Hope you want more, please. I'm gonna wet my queasel.
Yeah.
Jeez. Oh my Lord. So, all right. So we have. Let me see here. We have episode 22, Trusting Dr. Queeze. So let's check this out. So we open up.
Let's trust him.
On the Dragon Lord's castle apartment building, or whatever we're calling this thing. And they got a skull on the table, all kinds of stuff. And Dr. Queese is being brought to the Dragon Lord. Dr. Queese has apparently got a plan to bait Donnie with technology that he doesn't he knows Donnie won't be able to resist, and doesn't understand. Like the Dragon Lord doesn't understand it, but he's willing to give Dr. Queese a chance. Like, okay, cool. It sounds like science stuff. I'll let you do
all
your
that
thing.
He's saying is give Queese a chance.
Give Queese a chance. That's pretty good.
Pretty
good. Dragon Lord reassures Dr. Queese that if it doesn't work, that he'll turn his femur into a flute. And this is kind of funny because we just talked about this, right? Didn't you tell me about a femur, the femur stuff that used to be a thing where you could die if like that broke?
No, it's like a 80-90% death sentence before 1940, I think.
Which is
broken
wild.
femur. You're done.
So so Wick is insistent that Dragon Lord turned Dr. Queese's femur into a majestic flute. Like, for some reason, he's just like, no, I want it to be majestic. And Dragon Lord gets mad and says, don't interrupt me. Can't you see I'm berating our alchemist? And that just kind of got me when the Dragon Lord speaks like that.
It's what I'm up to.
Exactly. And that's that. I mean, that's how you know he's the leader. That's why you know that he sits on the throne. Like, that's the eloquency of his language and just his linguistic skills is just top tier guy. So we see Donatello through their a secure home is a happy home, And we see the turtles. We see Michelangelo and the rest of the turtles in there too. But they're breaking into Dr. Queese's lab, which is actually also in the Dragon Lord's castle apartment, which is weird. I'm not.
And they've broken in before, and no one has barred the entrance to that way to get in.
Right.
They can just get in there anytime they want.
Yeah, anytime they want. So
a secure home is a happy home.
They've successfully infiltrated the lab, and Donnie grabs some books and is just like all about these books. And he thinks that no one knows that they're there. But then immediately the rank Dr. Queeze, Dragon Lord, and Wick, wearing a red bow tie and white shirt, show up saying that dinner is served. And like, it's just, why is he in that? Like, I don't know.
I love
like,
that Wick. I mean, that's how Wick should always be dressed, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree. I think it really
he was super snazzy.
It is, and it brings out his eyes. I think it makes him like the rest of him stand out. And I'm a big fan of that. So so the turtles are trapped by some bar device that looks like they could easily just like slide out of it. At the very least, Michelangelo could. And yeah, it doesn't make any real sense here. But
how are they constrained at all?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like if anything, they could either just dip down or Mikey could go out the side. And yeah, no, it's fine. They're just Ninja Turtles, you know. They're trapped by this thing. So yeah, the turtles are discussing a plan, and the Dragon Lord interrupts and starts talking more about eating them. And then Dr. Queeze interrupts and says he has not extracted the mutagen. And so, yeah, they have like all these agreements because the Dragon Lord doesn't care. The Dragon Lord's like, I don't care about the mutagen. I'm hungry. I want to eat these things. Like it's almost as if he's like a foodie in some weird way. Like he's got some sort of compulsion that he wants to eat his enemies. And I kind of like this element to the Dragon Lord's character.
I like it, even though the whole premise of this starting out was that he wanted the mutagen. He wanted the secret of their powers.
Right.
But now he's just evolved the one to eat them.
Right, but now hear me on this. What if the whole thing was that he's ashamed maybe a little bit about his like food obsession, and so he tried to like spin it to where he's like, no, I want the mutagen, thinking that it would happen a little bit expeditiously to where he wouldn't have to worry about exposing himself for his true motives, which would be to just devour them because he just wants to eat them. Like, I don't know, maybe there's something in there that he's like, there's some sort of shift that he was trying. Maybe if he wasn't ashamed, maybe if he was just trying to show some civility, I guess, in a weird way, or that he's not, that he's above the carnal natures of wanting to devour flesh, and that's what makes him better than the rank. I don't know, but nevertheless,
interesting.
Dr. Queeze pulls out a CVS receipt style, like just agreement that. Contract thing that him and the Dragon Lord agreed to, and he starts reading from this, and he goes paragraph 3 subsection blah blah blah, and goes into the whole thing, and it's hilarious because just the fact that is legit what they would both agree to this and they would sign it, and that's how that actually works, because I don't think we ever get to see how these evil overlords subcontract their alchemists, you know what I'm saying? Like we don't see any of the agreements that happened with Baxter and the Shredder, and that's the nuance that I kind of come to the Turtles for, and come to just really a lot of my fiction for. I want to see the nuance, that I want to see all that. I want to see how the soup is made, if you will, and so I'm really glad that we saw this. I know it was for a joke and a punchline, but still, nevertheless, I think there's some just redeeming value there, and I don't know, I just enjoyed that. But anyway. So, so after they have this whole debate about that, Dragon Lord gets mad and just yells, "Sue me," as he throws his fist down on a lever that releases the turtles. And at that moment, Donatello and Dr. Queeze share this very strange look, Ryan. Like,
yes.
Like they're kind of lost in each other's eyes.
They are.
And music happens. Now, some of us have had this happen in real life where you see someone and music happens. Yeah. We did it at art school where we caught eyes.
Yeah, that's how we met.
and we're literally there to make music, and we did, and then we've been making music for like 10 years now or more.
Absolutely, that education brought me you.
Exactly. And so so it was very nice to see us sort of represented here with these two characters.
I agree.
Obviously, you're Donatello, and I'm Dr. Queese.
Well,
obviously,
you have more hair than me. So.
I do. Exactly. That's 100% valid. And so but it was super weird. This whole thing, it still, as much as I identify with it and I recognize it, very weird, very strange. But
it's a weird moment. Yeah,
it is. So, let's see. The Turtles managed to rope-a-dope Dragon Lord into the same snare that they were in, and then Donnie turns to the. I put DQ and DL throughout the whole note, all my notes, and I think that's totally throwing me off now. It saved me time earlier, but now I'm paying for it. So, Dr. Queese, Donnie turns to Dr. Queese and sincerely thanks him and asks if Dr. Queese likes his lab. Oh, I'm sorry. No. Dragon Lord asked him that. It says because the Turtles have already pieced out. They're already gone. And so now they're like Dr. Q's doesn't have any concept really of what's happened. He's flustered. He's like, I just had like a love thing happen that I'm
finding my sexuality this late in life. Like it's kind of weird. And
right. He's coming back down from that like emotional roller coaster. And so he's like, oh, I got to apologize to this monster that's going to eat me if I don't, fix this. And so, the Dragon Lord asks if he likes his lab and says that if he doesn't have the Turtles by Sunday, which here we go, we put the ticking time bomb on, he'll burn it down. And it's like, oh snap. And that's some parent shit right there. Like that's that.
Oh yeah, no, he's like, I'll take it away. I'll take it away.
And I'm like, oh, that triggered me. I'm like, oh snap, Sunday. Looking at the clock. So back in the lair, the Turtles are just like, they're back in the lair, and Donnie's just still beside himself. We're getting the other side of this coin, and he is elated because he is enamored with Dr. Queese. And if you don't remember, that's the reason why we kind of like were introduced to Dr. Queese, is because Donatello wanted to go see Dr. Queese's speech on whatever he was working on earlier in the season. And so, but now I think Donnie's definitely seen Dr. Queese before, but this was like for some reason more intimate. This was more of it just clicked. It all just worked. And so Donnie is just talking more and more about him, like how much of a genius he is and how fantastic he is. And and so like the rest of the Turtles are like, no, like Dr. Queese is, well, I think Michelangelo says that Eddie Murphy the text is all messed up, but basically saying the Nutty Professor and Dr. Queese, and it's that whole joke. But yeah, like it's very strange. So the Turtles, they're just having this weird debate over everything. And then the books, we get back to the books, and Donnie's like, no, Splinter's like, where'd you get those? Like, whose are those? You need to return those. Yeah. And he's like, no, I didn't steal them. I borrowed them. It's like a library and things like that. And Splinter's not having it. Splinter's like, no, they do not belong to you. You need to return them. And so Donnie just comes out and drops this. And this was the best. I was like, I hope that he says this, because he says that subway car that Venus just came out of, that doesn't belong to her either. So what are we supposed to do here? Boom. Take that, Dad. Yeah.
Well, what happened now?
Yeah. And so Splinter was put on hush mouth. He couldn't say nothing. He's like, dang.
No.
And he already played that card. See, if they hadn't met Andre the last episode and been like, don't go out at night, or don't go out during the day, but yet I had to go out on the day all the time.
Yeah, right. If he hadn't run that plan.
Right. If he hadn't run that, he might have had some ground here, but he'd already played all his cards. So yeah, so checkmate, Donnie. Just got him. So yeah, and then Splinter tries. Oh, and I kind of skipped over this a little bit, but Venus echoed Splinter's whole reservation about this whole thing with the books, saying they don't belong to him and stuff like that, and it's the way that Donnie responded back to her and everything. She just felt kind of like, oh, that was weird. Nobody came to my defense and things like that. But Splinter tries to console her, saying that he just needs to take it out on somebody. And she was the one that Donatello just like attacked. but he didn't attack the rest of the turtles. And this is another sign of Venus getting the short end of the stick and just getting like shit on like all the time. So,
classic.
Yeah. So back.
That's how we do it.
That's how we do it here on Ninja Turtles. So back in the lab, Donnie sneaks back in to return the books that he stole, and he's distracted by all the tech, which, you know, that's how it goes, you know, with those of us with tech. You know what I'm saying? Wait till you see my tech. And so Dr. Queez sees him and tries to sneak behind him and clicks this thing that sends this purple energy down, seemingly to verify that it works. But, like, they never explain this. They never explain what this is. You assume that it's a some sort of force field that could, like, trap you and keep you from moving.
Yeah.
But it never gets explained. And so, yeah. Dr. Queez then makes himself known and gives Donnie his book on CD, which is fantastic. I love that whole exchange. And there's that. So, back in the turtle lair, the turtles are trying to figure out a plan. Raph suggests that they spy on Donnie, and it's kind of like, okay, this is weird, but Leo argues that it's against the law. and they could lose Donnie's trust. That's the second thing. First of all, number one, it's against the law. Second, we could lose Donnie's trust. That's just, I don't know. That seems a little weird. But
it's a weird one.
Yeah,
for sure.
A little. You should probably start with the first one. And in fact, I don't even think you're ninja. Like, how many laws do you break on a regular? Like, the fact that you are living in this where you live, that's probably against the law too. And chances
Donnie kind of pointed that out, though. Donnie's aware of it.
Donnie's definitely aware of it. And so the other thing is that I don't think they're paying taxes either. I mean, I hate to be that guy, but like, I don't think the turtles are paying any taxes. So Venus, I can understand. She's new. She might not know, but the others, no, they should know. They should know. So, but now we want to bring the law up when it's convenient, so Leo doesn't have to go do this. Yeah, no, that just sounds like an excuse. But anyway, Mikey says that this is the best. Mikey says he can live without Donnie's trust, and Raph says that trust is overrated.
Of course, Raph would say that.
I love that. And he's got that look on his face, too, when he says that, which is, if you ever say that and mean it sincerely, that's the look you have on your face. Try it out sometime. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, back in the lab, DQ is trying to woo Donnie to be his collaborator, which is, you think we're blowing this up. You think we're, like, I know it's par for Turtle Soup to be like sensationalizing some stuff and making things out to be more than what it is, or like, you know, director's cut or whatever. No. This is dead ass like exactly what this is. So simultaneously, Dr. Queez is trying to position him in the beam from earlier to get him, you know, to be trapped in it. Apparently, Donnie says that, nah, man, I'm going to go listen to your CD, which, like, if Donatello ever said that to me, Brian, I would die. I would just lose it. I'm going to go listen to your CD. What? And I just start tearing up. I just melt. I turn into Shredder. I just die. Like, I look at my reflection in the CD on the backside and just be like,
you'd be dead. That'd be it. Be over.
So Donnie leaves, and DQ just sorry I keep calling him that, but it's what it is. Dr. Queez just misses getting him in the purple thing, and it's just, he's like, oh, dang, one day I'll be loved. And then Death Cab plays. Shit. That's the music that you hear. It's Death Cab, but copyright. You couldn't, you know, it was a future internet file, by the way. So that's how they had it before Death Cab was putting stuff out. So that's how that works.
You're bringing out our future internet files for everybody.
Oh yeah, those fifths. Jeez. So back in the turtle lair, Donnie is well, it looks like he's making music, but actually he is doing computer stuff, as my notes say. And the other turtles are frustrated, as they tend to be anytime he's on the computer. They send over Mikey to get him to stop and say it's time to bust a move. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I get it. I guess that's the lingo back then, but it's still weird. So Donnie tells Mike to bust it without him. And when your boy says that, I mean, it's, you just look stupid if you keep trying to go for it. Like, you just have to go. And that, I mean, you know,
if it don't blow, you got to go.
This is just super weird, like I keep saying. So Donnie then exclaims that Dr. Queese's theories are genius and that he's going out. He bumps into Splinter, saying that curiosity is dangerous as he is fondling. Here, let me see. I gotta get to that picture of Splinter real quick. Here we go. Yeah. So Donnie's like, yeah, I'm leaving. I'm going. And Splinter's like, no, curiosity is dangerous. And he's fondling the meditation balls or whatever they're called. Do you remember what those are called? Aren't they called something? They sell them. I can't talk. They come in a little box, and there's two of them. Yep. And you roll them around in your hand. Like, chat, holler at us, let us know. But you have to fondle them. That's the only way you fondle those balls. Yeah. So back at DQ's lab, Donnie had made this whole excuse before leaving the Turtles' lair that he was going to recycle, that he just sounded like a fiend, like he was just like looking for any kind of excuse. And he's like, you know what, I'm going to take these obviously Big Mac containers to recycle them, and there's only 2 of them, and he's going to go do this. So he's decreasing his carbon footprint here. Congratulations, Donnie, which makes sense for him because that seems like something he would be aware of. But once he gets back to the lab, Dr. Queeze already knows he's there because they're on another level at this point. They are practically soulmates. Yes. Dr. Queeze tells Donnie that the recycling center is 4 blocks away. They both know. It wasn't about recycling. Like,
this is like a straight ass affair, is what this is. This is absolutely. This is a affair. This is an affair. They're just everything's missing but the kissing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Everything's missing but the kissing. You are not wrong, though. That is 100%. So Donnie says that he needed an excuse to come see him and confirms that no one is there. Yeah. Dr. Queese is preparing to capture Donnie again in that purple thing, but Donnie spouts some inaccuracies with his formulas, and this intrigues Dr. Queese. It piques his interest, if you will, in more ways than one.
That face.
Wow. He's been walking erect since the day that him and Donnie met.
100%.
So Dr. Queese asks what day it is, and Donnie says Friday. So Dr. Queese figures he has some time to talk to Donnie and pick his brain. And that was about the cutest thing I've ever seen in my life. Dr. Queese realizes that his life, there's a ticking time bomb on his life. He has till Sunday, but he's going to spend the next 2 days with someone that he loves and wants to pick his brain, if you will. And so, that's what it is. So they continue.
Weekend.
It's the weekend.
I mean, what do you want? Yeah, it's a freaking weekend. We're going to have us some fun.
They're going to have some
That's
fun.
exactly what happens.
Exactly. And you can tell they start looking at a computer screen and listening to music and all kinds of stuff. And so, they are, it's really cute. I really do love it. So,
it's the Queen's laboratory over here.
It's the Queen's laboratory. So then there's this weird montage of Donnie and Dr. Queese at his, at a computer. And then we see Donnie sneaking out of the lair and then back at Dr. Queese's lab, presumably that he went home to sleep and then came back, presumably. Or to go get his overnight bag and then come back. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's probably what it was.
So then we see more weird montages of Dr. Queese and of the Dragon Lords HQ, Raph, Mike, all driving and stuff. It's very strange, and you realize that what's happening is the turtles are like, they haven't seen Donatello in a while, so they're trying to. They're like, oh, he must be at Dr. Queese's, so we're gonna go because it doesn't take that long to recycle. So so they have this whole thing where they're gonna figure that out, but the whole thing ended with Donnie pouring a liquid into a vial, and both Dr. Queese and Donnie saying success. I think I showed that already, and they high five, which is adorable. So back at the lair, Mikey is rummaging through the fridge and freaks out because someone stole his chocolate-covered anchovies and accuses everyone. Like, he gets like really mad, and Donnie then just gets up, and Raph is like, "Where are you going?" And he says, "Oh, to recycle." and just takes the paper out of Splinter's hand as he's reading it, which was hilarious. And
Splinter says, "No, thank you."
Yeah, no, yeah.
That's so funny.
And but Splinter is wise to what's happening, and he's still like rolling those balls in his hand, which is very weird, but still. So back at Dr. Queese's lab, Dr. Queese and Donnie have stabilized the gyro transmitter from discombobulating, and Dr. Queese continues to touch Donnie's face, which was very strange. Like, just, I know I keep saying it, but it just gets worse. Like, it gets progressively
it gets super weird.
Super weird. So Donnie wants to test it out on the Dragon Lord to send him back to the glass prison. But DQ wants to test it out on some sort of varmint, if you will. But Donnie is like, no, I'm not down with that. Like, he is not wanting to hurt another animal, which makes sense. And so
and they never set up a safe word or anything. So now
they never did.
It's kind of going off the rails.
It is.
Now Dr. Queese is pushing it in a direction Donnie doesn't want to go, and there's no way out of it.
There's no way out. So just then Raph and Mike barge in, and they drag Donnie out while Dr. Queese keeps trying to use the purple energy thing to capture Donnie, but continues to miss yet again. And I don't know. I still kind of find that funny because it's like continuity, and you're looking forward to it. Like, you're looking for oh, he's doing it. And I mean, it's an easy kind of laugh, but still, I appreciate it. So back in the turtle lair, the turtles seem to have talked some sense into Donatello about the situation, but just then Venus chastises the other turtles for being ninjas who are supposed to use their instinct, yet ridiculed Donnie for using his, because this entire time Donatello has been thinking that like he could trust Dr. Queese, or that like hence the title, but like that he feels like there's something there with Dr. Queese that's worth, it's at very least redeemable or usable to some extent. And so Venus is just blown. Sorry. Donnie says that he agrees with the rest of the turtles. Like, he's like, no, I agree with the fellas. And Venus is just blown out. She is just like, no, you mean this? I finally feel like I'm on the right side of, the right side of what y'all are wanting. And I finally found the rhythm, and I'm figuring out my place in this place. And you're going to flip the script on me like that. She is just not having it. And like, it's just really just sad. But Splinter shows up and says Donnie's lost their trust, but to get it back, like, that's what they got to do. You got to do it. So because apparently trust is actually worth something. So Donnie's going to get the gang to go get the tech back from Dr. Queese, because if I skipped over that, they basically did resolve whatever technical thing they were trying to do. And that's when Raph and Mike came and got Donatello before they could actually finalize everything. But they left the technology with Dr. Queese. And if they're telling Donatello that Queese is not trustable, then we have to be responsible and go get that back. So that's what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And so back at Dr. Queese's lab, Donnie manages to sneak into the lab, this time after every other time, triggering the sensors to let Dr. Queese know he was there. Like, all the other times didn't go off. Nothing. But now this time it does. They have an exchange. Fighting between the turtles and the rank ensue. And yeah, it's, typical fight, all that stuff. And then Dr. Queese and Donatello end their relationship because Dr. Queese only cares about self-preservation. And so, that's a toxic relationship. You don't really need that. They almost kiss right here. Like, it gets really close.
No, and it gets real close to it.
It's filmed the way, like, they intended for it to be that scene. And they probably shot it on the directors.
John Clemens says there is no heterosexual explanation for this.
There is none. Like, you could throw science at it.
You could try to throw science at it, but it is what it is over here.
I get the attempt at trying to throw science at it, but this crosses a line that is just way beyond anything heterosexual and interspecies. And that's fine. Whatever. They're both consenting adults, so do whatever they want to do. So here we go. Let's see where we at. Okay. So yeah, they end their relationship, and Donnie takes the CD and wrecks the machine, and the turtles book it. So, or as Leo says, let's blow this pop stand. And
yep.
Yeah. So back in the turtle lair, they get home, and Donnie breaks the CD over his knee, which is like the most hardcore thing that you could do. I don't know. M. Wilson's probably one of the only other people I think that could break a CD over his knee. Just without
that sounds like what I did to Gym Class Heroes follow up to
Paper. You didn't like Cruel School Children.
I just snapped it over my knee.
Exactly. Yeah. So very few people can do that, and so an extreme frustration. But I think M. Wilson could probably do it just on command.
M. Wilson, well, a lot of people can do it. It's just M. Wilson did it with your favorite indie band when he was
absolutely.
trading gear and buying their headphones.
Exactly. Yes. So Donnie does that, breaks the CD, and then says that there's good science and bad science. And then Mikey asks if they want to do some rad boarding. And Donnie says, yeah. Everyone cheers. And that's the end of the episode. And
oh yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So a lot of back and forth, a lot of the lab and the lair. And I don't know. It was very, I don't know. All that back and forth left me a little queasy, if you know what I'm saying.
a little queasy?
A little queasy. Just a little queasy. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the relationship between both of these people, and like seeing this turmoil.
Yeah.
It felt almost Romeo and Juliet, just a little bit, like a touch of it. And I really appreciated that.
It was pretty cool to see like Donnie kind of follow back up on that whole thing where he admires him.
Yeah.
Because he kind of had to deal with that the first time.
Right.
But this time it's seen kind of mutually. And it's weird. It's weird how they almost kissed that time.
They almost kissed that time. They totally did. And so I don't know. I do love the idea that two people could act like, I don't know if they were like, I love how like their love for each other was secondary. Their love for science and the shared enjoyment of discovery and just what did Splinter say? Curiosity of just that those scientific things and their mutual love for that made them realize that they love each other, as opposed to being a physical relationship where they're like, oh, I like the way you look.
Yeah,
we have other interests.
Yeah, it's like a mental relationship. It's weird. I thought it was very telling that Donnie makes that last attempt to be like, you could use your knowledge for good, and he's like, well, I wouldn't get anything done.
Right.
And you realize like, oh yeah, that's that sacrifice. Like he's chosen to be like, no, like your morals hold you back. And I'm like, well, that's really interesting.
Yes.
That's interesting.
And that's the thing. You think this is all for gags, and it's all like just a joke, or at least it's to make you feel uncomfortable or a little strange or just even just normal. I don't know, whatever. But there's actually so much depth there that just, I don't know. It made it really enjoyable for me. And I like the whole thing that like once Dr. Queese got what he wanted, then he put the alarms on the lab. Other than that, he left the door unlocked and was like, whatever. Well, but then all of a sudden flip the script.
Donnie come in.
Yeah. And that's just, I don't know. But it's neat though, because if Dr. Queese had decided to side with Donnie, that would have been an interesting twist to see that like that someone's love for, once you realize that you have a shared love for science and that their love for, like, then you also are like in love with the person behind that science, then you're like, oh, well, I want to be with that person, so I'm going to abandon myself and embrace like that whole thing. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm sensationalizing it too much, but it was, I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. And I probably had I could have watched this in 1998 and would have had the same conversation. Just so insightful, so like deep. I would have picked up on all of the idiosyncrasies,
all of the
subtext
and all that weird stuff. Yeah,
I guarantee you, if there was a what's the thing at the back of the books in the comics where people write in what was that called?
Oh, like a letter section,
Like yeah. If there was a letter section for TV shows back in the day, like if this would have been on YouTube, if this was a YouTube show and it were showing it, the comments would have all been like, "Yeah, I love this," and I could totally see all the subtext, all that stuff. Yeah, because it's so blatantly obvious here. But anyway, did you have anything? Did you have any thoughts on this? Any more thoughts?
No, that's basically it. It was interesting. I think I kind of liked the way that they handled it in the first episode they did of this.
Yeah,
because I thought it was a little deeper when it came to like Donnie believing so much in science and thus believing so much in him, something that he had to believe in Dr. Queese, and then to find out that man was evil. You know, I believe I brought up at the time Werner von Braun, right? I mean, being, you know, the guy who invented the V2 rocket, you know, for the Nazis, being a Nazi, and then, you know, getting us to the moon. You know, I mean, like it. For all mankind,
take the bad.
Kind of, for all mankind creates a character who is basically like almost the adopted daughter of Werner von Braun, who works at NASA with him, and her having to grapple with like what he could have done and what he could have known about, and the question about morals and the price of scientific advancement is pretty deep in there. And it's interesting because I think Donnie was going through that too, and it was a lot about Donnie himself. This episode was more like it was a little bit more about Dr. Queese, right? It was a little bit more about his like you don't know like where Dr. Queese landed on like maybe Mikey or maybe Donnie could be my protege.
Right.
And but then again, he still has that like kind of like, well, ends justify the means, where he's like, oh, we have a whole weekend to hang out before I have to basically capture you for the Dragon Lord. It's weird. It asks a lot of questions about Dr. Queese. I think this one does. If I had to like defend it, or if I had to kind of give it a good interpretation, because I think you can, I would say that, the first time was Donnie's episode, and this was Dr. Queese's episode.
Yeah,
of the same like relationship or the same thing.
Yeah, and then the thing with the animal, that's the other thing that like where they realize that
was weird.
Oh, that's right, you're an animal. See, I love it because at the same time, Dr. Queese was so in love with Donatello that his love for Donnie transcended like race. Species. I just bit my tongue. That was really weird. Species and just everything. And then when that catalyst comes up and it's like, oh yeah, no, why are we hurting animals? Like that's dumb. It's so, I don't know. I just love when you see things that make a character kind of that kind of defines them in a way that kind of shows the lines where they're at, and they have to decide. And I don't know. I just thought that was really good. So yeah, I enjoyed this episode. I thought it was really neat.
Yeah, I thought it was really neat too. Yeah, no, I think it's interesting. So,
yeah. Well, so that's gonna be it for this episode. So, what did y'all think? Did y'all enjoy these episodes? Do you trust Dr. Queese now, or does all this back and forth make you queasy like it makes us a little bit? Would you fall in love with Dr. Queese? Would you hurt animals if Dr. Queese asked you to? Like, we want to know all the answers to those.
If you
questions.
shared a look like that over that tech gear, that look. Wow.
Oh yeah,
that look.
That look.
What would you say?
What would you say? Like, let me find it real quick before we go, because it's pertinent that I want to share that again, just so that we can show. And if you're on the audio, come over here to YouTube real quick just to see this. But if you ever find yourself being in this situation, on the receiving end of this situation, we want to know.
That's sometimes when we touch. That's what that looks like.
It's so good.
I mean, just like that look on the Dr. Queese look is the weird one.
It is the weird one, but it's so good. Like, I'm not trying to blow these actors up, but like, I mean, obviously Donnie is like prosthetics and stuff, but still, I mean, he's just like open mouth.
He's like, good.
But Dr. Queese, I mean, that's an actor right there.
Because his face is straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's the only time his face is like
like contorted,
like in a weird look, like
yeah,
contorted. Yeah, it's just flat.
But
that would be on the cover of Dr. Quee's Medicine Woman, like the DVD set.
That would be.
Like that's the picture it'd be on the cover.
Yeah, definitely.
Season 1, Dr. Queez.
That's gonna
Medicine
get
Woman.
you. Yeah, you're gonna get locked into those eyes, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, I trust Dr. Queez."
John Clemens just chimed in with his opinion on the episode. He said, "This episode of Next Mutation turned me straight." So if you're looking,
if you're looking for some conversion therapy,
if you're looking for some conversion therapy, it's called Trusting Dr. Queez.
You can just save yourself some money if you really want to change for some reason. Just watch this. If you're like, I got to do it, they want me to pray it away. It's not working. I'm gonna
all of a sudden like Chick-fil-A is just like putting out episodes of this, just like on like with every meal, like is like a freaking like a stick, a USB stick with like that episode on it, just every meal.
And then all the ads are the cows with Dr. Queez, and they're like, he's looking at the cows, and then they're looking at him.
Oh,
and it's like, oh, and then they start eating chicken. It's a whole thing.
Then it says, "Eat more Queez."
Eat more. Oh, Jesus.
And then Arby's gets in on the act, and they're like, "Oh, the Queez and cheddar."
Right, Queez and cheddar. Yeah. We got that. If you thought any of this, if you have anything about any of this, you want to let us know, do it in the comments here on YouTube, or write us at the home of the internet, turtlesoupshow.com. Don't write us there. Go there. You can find our episodes there and listen to them. But write us at turtlesoupshow@gmail.com. There we go. That's what I was going for. And let us know all your thoughts on Dr. Queez and how he makes you feel. Then you can find us on the socials, Turtle Soup Show with the underscores between each word on Instagram, and then we're on Facebook with the Turtle Soup Group, and it's really fun, cool place to hang out. And then we're here on YouTube, usually every Thursday night, if not some Thursday nights. I don't know. You'll see us here on Thursdays usually, and we're pretty close to 500. So if you are an audio only listener, but you're like, I don't want to watch YouTube, you don't have to. You can just go on there, subscribe, and then just don't ever go back. That's fine. But we just want to get those numbers up, just because I don't know, it's vanity. But it does help us.
Vanity,
Right.
I mean, if anything.
It does.
One
totally
last parting note is so the Next Mutation has 26 episodes. We just covered 21 and 22.
Right.
So that means 2 more Turtle Soup episodes.
Ooh.
Of Next Mutation, and we'll be through it, so we can move on to other stuff, which I know is something that everyone really wants to do.
Does that include the two Power Rangers episodes? It doesn't. Okay,
no.
So we've got
3 more episodes of Turtle Soup.
Yeah,
then we'll be done with this incarnation.
Yes, and we'll be done. But again, I will say though, it's not been the worst ride. It's been long, but
it's been a long ride,
but the actual content,
in chronological time, in chronological journey, I feel like this show's been my whole life.
It's literally been all we covered last year. So
yes,
so yeah,
that's why we didn't. I mean, behind the curtain, that's why we didn't make it so basically this year.
Yeah, that's what I because
go back and listen to the episodes this year. Although I think
8 episodes.
The plan is, because we're covering this in the calendar year of 2024. So basically, on Next Mutation will be at the end of this year, probably.
Oh,
absolutely. What we say, okay, like we covered Next Mutation, we finished it this year, we started it last year, we did it all last year, and stuff like that. But then we'll be moving on,
right?
Yeah,
onto greener pastures, if you will. And so,
got him.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll be back next week, but just keep up to breast on our socials, and we'll let you know when we're going to be on,
absolutely.
And if that's interesting to you. And until then, else time. And we're back.
It's been a long ride.
Yeah.
Getting from there to here.
Oh, my Lord.
Well, John Clemens said it's been a long ride and then breaks into Faith of the Heart, which is, the Enterprise song.
Oh, that's right. My dad loved that song.
Man, I tell you, fucking, you gotta look up the Enterprise intro with the freaking Perfect Strangers theme.
Yeah.
Oh, this is wild. So that's one thing about that show, The Leftovers. They have a weird thing with Perfect Strangers.
Interesting.
And at one point, very early on in the show, you hear that the entire main cast of Perfect Strangers all disappeared.
Oh, that's amazing.
Which is like really the odds are crazy.
Yeah,
that that small percentage of all four of them. But yeah, like someone's watching TV and like you're watching reruns. They're like, "Did you know that the entire cast of Perfect Strangers disappeared?" And so the guy's like, "Bullshit." He's like, "No, all four of them."
That's amazing.
And like whatever. And then later, I don't want to spoil too much, but it has a weird thing with Perfect Strangers. Like at one point, literally they replaced the theme song with the show.
Yeah,
with the Perfect Strangers theme.
Perfect Strangers. Oh, that's fantastic.
It's
sick. My goodness, I love
it's
that.
Sick. Man, we got everybody in chat. There were some things said in chat that were just too much. Oh my God, let me.
And Wilson
says that he trains. Yes, he trains breaking CDs with Mike Patton's side project CDs. John Clemens says this episode is illegal in Canada. He says I had to watch it through the telescope.
The telescope.
That's pretty great.
I'm so glad he appreciated that.
And Wilson, I'm so glad to have M back because he is spinning out on this shit. He's like, Burquise so loved the world.
Because 316. Thank you. I was trying to find a way to work that.
I'm like, there. That's really good.
Burquise so loved the world. That's a good. I'm gonna write that one down.
Yeah. Dr. Queese mutation therapy and conversion therapy. And then M says, Jesus, that was a tough one. It was a tough one.
It was. Oh my goodness.
Oh man. Disobeying the sign to play chess with the blind. Oh, that's a snappy one, John. Verbo vacation sewer.
Oh, okay.
Don't be a menace to Turtle Society while playing chess in the hood.
That's pretty good.
M says TMNT B&B.
Oh my.
That's basically what your boy was in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Dr. Cheese.
Yeah, Dr. Cheese. Episode 6, he doesn't see anything. That was too fucking funny, dude. That was crazy. That would have hit me hard. Because I knew that there was a joke coming round.
Yeah.
About something.
Right.
I knew it. But I was already on my See the Podiatrist. I was already on that run.
Yeah.
So you said, Ryan, he ain't seeing anything. And it was just it was doubled up. I knew if you stuck us around with like a stereotypical blind character, I knew we were going to say something that was too bad.
Of course. Oh yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah. It writes itself.
It's got My Chemistry Bromance.
Oh my goodness, that's really good.
That's a really good one. Oh man,
that's fantastic. That one's really good.
Damn.
I really like that one.
My Chemistry Bromance is really good.
Oh, that is really good because then I could take the two pictures and put them together in the thumbnail.
Oh yeah, because that is the narrative.
Yeah.
Although I do want to shout out M for that Dr. Queese Medicine Woman. That made me laugh hard. Like all through the episode, I just kept thinking about it.
That was great.
And then the Queasin Thank You from Mitch Fletcher. Those were good early suggestions.
Yeah.
Yeah, my Chemistry Bromance. That really sounds like the title.
It does.
Because that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Yeah. Oh man, this is what I love. I love this. This is my favorite part.
You see this. This is family. If I'm ever asked by a man who's definitely not gay in the sewer. If this is family, I'm gonna say I never even touched another guy.
Never even looked at another guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I never even looked at another guy.
So good.
What's the word that Donnie says to him though?
Claustrophobic, I think.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, are you claustrophobic?" Oh, he goes, "Oh, Casey, you're claustrophobic."
What? I never
even looked at another man. That joke's up there. That's a good joke.
It is a really good joke.
It's a top-notch good joke.
Oh, absolutely.
My chemistry bromance. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think so too.
Oh, by the way, hold on a second. Those two balls that Splinter was playing with, they're called Baoding balls.
Baoding balls. Okay.
Yeah, and I just bought a pair.
Did you really?
On Amazon. Yeah, during the show.
Have you messed with them?
I've never messed with them. I was looking at the Wikipedia article.
Yeah.
While we were doing the outro, and it basically says that like this is a lot more involved than I thought it was. I thought you were just fondling balls and like meditating.
No.
It turns out, man. It turns out that it says the average user should be able to start with a 45 millimeters, so that's 1.6 inch ball, and move up to 60 millimeters or 2.4 inch balls as their muscles get accustomed to the exercise.
Right.
They even have 70 millimeter and 100 millimeter balls. So 100 millimeter is almost 4 inches wide.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
It says keeping larger balls separate. So the whole thing is you start by doing the balls as they're going together, right?
Yeah.
Then you actually get your hand to the point where you can rotate them in your hand and they don't touch. That's the next level.
Yeah.
Then you keep going up in size and making those fuckers not touch. And then you're like a god, basically.
Right. Then you ascend. Yeah.
That's the whole point. Is like you roll your fingers with them. And like, it's supposed to be really good. It's supposed to be like kind of a skill. Like you learn the muscle movements for it. And they say that not only were they used for meditation, but it was therapeutic for arthritis and keeping your hand muscles limber.
Right.
But they actually had like an actual like use.
Yeah. I just remember them being like somewhere. I want to say that Spencer's had them for some reason or something.
Oh, I'm sure.
And I remember
doing it, since they were in Wayne's World too. I mean, they were.
But I loved the sound and the feeling of them in my hand. You know, I'm sure you know. You have to.
Yeah,
Have you ever messed with them though at all before?
No, I never have. I've always
so surprising.
I've seen them and I've wanted them, but I've never got them. I imagine so. Mine are black balls.
Oh, of course. Oh, sure.
Chrome, black chrome balls.
Dang.
They're 1.6 inch balls.
Yeah.
Because that's the starter. That's your starter balls.
Ninja starter balls.
And then eventually I can get up to bigger balls.
That's the goal. That's the goal.
Yeah. I don't know. Part of me just like actually wants to do it. Part of me is like,
you should.
That sounds cool as hell. And then some of the reviews on Amazon were like, basically people saying like, ha, yeah, balls. But at the same time, like I'm addicted to these shits. Like they're like, I kind of just think about using them all the time. And then like, I just do it like when I watch TV, like the entire night. And it makes me enjoy TV more and shit. And I'm like, that's cool.
That does sound cool.
Because I can see that if you, so I'm not what you'd call like Mr. Bouncing Leg guy, really. I'm not like, where my hands have to be doing something all the time, but I got a little of that on me. Okay. I got a little of that in touch. You know what I mean? Yeah. I got a little of a, like, if I sit somewhere for too long straight, I want to get up and walk. Like when we're doing the show, I've got to be messing with something in my hands.
Oh, I
don't know about you.
That's where Classic Predator came out of.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because I was messing with that pin.
Yeah.
And then tonight I'm playing with this golf ball.
Oh, that's what I heard all night. I'm joking. No, I'm joking. I didn't hear it.
I was in the sound rejection. These RE20s have excellent sound rejection.
Do.
But I stole this from Chattanooga, Tennessee, by accident when we went to Top Golf to play putt golf on their 18-hole putt golf course. But it was 38 degrees with like 15-mile-an-hour wind, and we were I was about as damn cold. I know all you Northerners are gonna go, oh, well, that's fun. That's fucking summer for me. But like, I was so goddamn cold out there, like, because I just had a t-shirt and like my like normal thin hoodie on, and I was so goddamn cold. But my hands wouldn't work. I didn't have gloves, and I still came in second behind my dad. I got 3 hole-in-ones. You know what I'm saying? 3 hole-in-ones. But then I put this, and this is where I legitimately didn't steal it. I put this in my. No, this tells you how numb my hands were. I put this in my jacket pocket, in between, like when I'd play, because I put my hands in my hoodie pockets to keep them warm, or try to at least.
Yeah.
And I put them in for the last time, and I didn't notice that my hands came out and the ball wasn't there because my hands were so numb. And then I got home and I go, "Oh damn, the Top Golf ball." I'm like, "Well, I guess that's a keepsake."
There you go.
What I'm saying?
For the drawer.
Yep.
Em, I know what you're saying. Yes, it does. This does feel like post game, like right about to end it. But we got to name the episode.
No,
we got to title it.
So, we got to name it. I know you keep waiting for Eric. Cause really, we should have ended on the balls because we could have cut it somewhere on the balls. But
we absolutely should have.
So it's going to be My Chemistry Bromance.
Yes.
All right, you're going to say it. I'm going to do the episode number.
Okay. Bobby Bonilla. Okay.
Oh, yeah, no. Dead ass. The rejection axis on the RE20 is fucking, like, 3/4 of the microphone is rejection.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing I love about the RE20 more than anything.
Yeah.
Like, is that it dedicates at least half of its overall, like, body to being like, reject your shit.
Yes.
I'm like, that's so good. Love it. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
This is Turtle Soup, episode 316.
My Chemistry Bromance.
Yeah.
My Chemistry Bromance. I was trying to be like.
Says, I myself aspire to reject 3/4 of the things said in my presence. You and the RE20 have a lot in common.
You do.
Okay, let's
My chemical. No, did I say it right? Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
try to give me like some emo. Put some emo on that one.
My Chemistry Bromance.
Yeah. Oh God, yes. Give me some.
Dad.
Tonight will be the night. Give me some of that shit.
Dad, it's a real thing being the moderator of the Facebook group.
Oh shit, yes.
Dad, get off the internet.
That's a real job.
It's a real job. People depend on me, Dad.
Rawr.
Right. All right.
You ready?
Yeah.
This is Turtle Soup, episode 316.
My Chemistry Bromance.
Fuck, I liked that.
Yeah.
That was you really, wow.
Sometimes you got the hot hand, unlike you did.
That was like the first one. That was like the first one you took a ball outside and then you took a strike, hit a home run.